I look up in the skies, asking out a while, but never let it phase me. I'm keeping good vibes when I'm on the road. Watch out for all surprises. Whatever vibes is good and bad, but nothing ties us.
The night, let me paint the view. Until the coming of a dawn.
Days ahead of us, put your hands up, wave it side to side for good luck. For the nights like this, put your hands up, love the moment even from dusk.
You always got my back, and of course I got your back. Don't you worry about that.
It's been a good
Okay,
day,
good night. It's gonna be a good day. Good night. PY. Paddy. Oh, let's go! Nod, how's it going, man? How you doing? You solved with only greens. Let's go! Me that sings. Nothing comes between us. Dancing like ballerinas under the moonlight all night long. When it sings to paint so vividly by you. Are you so sick? I am very slightly, yes, but I'm so much better than yesterday. I nearly feel like I'm not sick at all. So I'm still taking medicine today, so that hopefully tomorrow I'll just be good. But like I'm chilling. I'm good. Just a little stuffy nose, very slightly. Hey there, how's it going, buddy? Home run, strikeout, single, walk, baseball terms? Get of course, I got your back, don't you worry about that. It's gonna be a good night, it's gonna be a good day, good night. Wait for you to talk to me. I wanna hear all the good and bad, the new stories you've had. What do you mean clickbait title? What? What's our title? Or a thumbnail? What? What's the thumbnail? Let me sing a lullaby. The fuck is the thumbnail? What? I just saw it. I just saw it. I don't know. YouTube auto pulled it. Oh, that's so jokes. YouTube auto pulled it from like from one of the snippets. Oh, that's so jokes. Because you can see, like, it's not like I'm going, right? It's just like I'm just fixing my hair. Oh, that's so jokes. Ah, YouTube, no wonder you're such a big company, bro. Kami, how's it going? MX, how's it going? Babble, ramble, drone on. What chapter we left off at? I believe it was 46. So 47 to like 57 I gotta read today or something? I don't know. What do I have to read today? I don't know, you're the one who knows. I just work here. 40 to 62. Fuck. 16 chapters? Unhinged, how's it going, buddy? You've shown up like 3 days back to back. Are you feeling okay? I feel like whenever Trump starts threatening going to war in Iran, Unhinged starts showing up for streams. He's like, fuck, dude, I might never make it back here. He's like, let me pop by. Drone, babble, ramble. Hope I literally can't. Chris says otherwise. Nice. Okay. Let me jog your memory. Let me refresh your memory. Let me spark your memory, and let me prompt. Absolute cinema. Hold up, I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just gonna blow my nose. I'm so stupid, I apologize. I'm so stupid. I turned on a brake and I just left it. You guys have seen this, right? Like, I have the brake mechanic now, which shows like this whole thing, which is cool. But I need to be on the right place for it. I was on the wrong one. That's so stupid. I apologize. I should have brake on here too. That's stupid. Add source, browser, brake. Okay, it's on here. So the next time that happens, that won't happen. Mr. Chair is dead. He has been overtaken by Mr. Brake. Mr. Brake breaks the back of Mr. Chair. Mr. Brake is a fraud. You know what? Say hi to Mr. Brake again. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Cannonball! Mate, you only have so many fucking places you can go. What chapter are we at? 47, yes. Franca has gotten her bum-ass honorific name. Hopefully Lumen gets a half-decent one. He's the fucking main character, I hope so. And they're the most boring farm known to man. Oof. You know what? I will say me, Zaza, Bug, and Chris played Peak yesterday. It was fun as fuck. There was only one good player, and that was absolutely Bug, not even close. The rest of us were literally just fucking around, but god, we had so much fun. Warm up tournament, 8k USD prize pool, 3k for first. So wait, huh? Like aside from this one coming, or like they reduced the prize pool for this one? Am I dumb? What? That's the warm-up one, not the real one. So has the real one not started yet? Because there doesn't make any sense for them to have a warm-up that's running simultaneously with the, or after. Oh, this hasn't started yet. I thought that's what you were entering your fucking cave of gooning for. What? I'm so confused. Where do I go? Game just started. We need to level up and get gear first, dog. Yeah, so what's the timeline? Like, I assume it's like whoever is either highest ranked or has highest, you know, whatever, some fucking stat point or whatever in like a certain time frame. So like when does it start? What am I supposed to do there? What the fuck? Three fails back to back. Supposed to be in the next patch in September. Okay. So and when does the warm up start? August 15th? Okay, nice. Okay, sorry, I'm caught up now. I apologize. So the you wanting to go away for a couple of weeks was for was to get to max level as soon as possible, basically, so you could actually begin the grinds. When was that the point? Pretty much? Okay. For now, there's only one team of whales beating our ass, and we literally can't touch them. Thank you, Harsh, for recognizing. I appreciate it. I didn't want to call attention to it because it felt like bragging, but I appreciate you noticing. I do. But there's a dodge stat in the game, and it's like you literally can't hit them. I see. You literally can't touch them. I see what you mean. So they're buying gear? How does I thought can you buy gear, or can you buy like chests to get better gear? How does that work? You just spent easily like 30k. Jesus fuck. Come on! I had it! I just made it not fuck like that! Yes. MX what? Breach? Oh, Bleach tomorrow. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Hope. I appreciate it. I do my best. You know, I try to practice my singing when I can with streaming. I don't have too much time nowadays, but I appreciate it. Thank you. I gotta go get my beard fucking cut tomorrow, bro. This shit is getting disgustingly long. I look homeless. This is crazy. Let's go! Wow, I just fucked my hair up. Jesus. Alright, boys. Let's say we start reading. We got a lot of fucking chapters to do, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you. If there's anyone other than Chris or Luvian who told me to read these chapters, I tell them to fuck right off. But it's these two. I can't say anything to them. Love them. By the way, Kami, did you have a chance to listen to the playlist I sent you? I don't know if that's copyrighted. I assume it has to be. But fuck it. All the music you sent me is already copyrighted, so fuck it. Can you not, like, use that somewhere? I fucking love that playlist, dude. It's so... I came across my feed a couple of days ago, and I was like, holy shit, this is so gas! What the fuck? No, because I'm getting dragged to the game the second I'm awake. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. Can I play it right now? It's totally not in the mood at all, but I want you guys to can you guys hear it? Let's just play like the first song. Let's just play. It's like a playlist of like a couple of songs. It's regular music right now, but do what you want. Dude, it's so good. Let me send it to you, Kami. If you could just toss it into the playlist. It's totally not the mood right now. I want to be clear. I'm well aware. But it's so peak. I feel like when you guys hear it, you're gonna go, holy shit. I will bet you money that it is a playlist that for sure will have a place. One, 2, 3, 4. The fifth top comment is the fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the gray fog, the king of yellow and black, who wields good luck. Put it in yourself? Oh, am I admin? Oh, you made me admin. Thank you. Oh, it's downloading. Oh, yeah, I forget it. It downloads it, keys it in, right? Yeah, okay, there it is. Okay, 1047. Honorific name. Ooh, no worries, man. Thank you so much for coming. Extra thank you for coming to COI, because I know how much you hate it, but I appreciate it. No, you're good one. Let's play. Okay, watch. Just listen to the music, okay? It's so good. It's so good. Lumion took the paper and pen from in front of Franca and said with a smile, "We can always add descriptions about being someone or something's protector later when it happens. After all, every demigod can have many descriptions. though they don't use them all. Then he began writing down his own honorific name. The last line he started with, the great LEMMiNO Lee. Then he smiled at Franca and Jenna and said the first line should leverage Mr. Fool's status. He then wrote, the chariot of Mr. Fool. Before Jenna and Franca could speak, he made a self-deprecating comment. The second line will continue to leverage, this time from 001. The proxy of the god of war? No, no good. The Madam Magician mentioned that before the title of God of War refers to both 001 and Medici. If I call myself his agent, he may laugh uncontrollably. Wouldn't that be like giving him a gift? Try something else, like proxy of the Lord of War. These all point to 001 anyway, should I suggest it? I think it should be more conceptual to minimize Medici's influence. Proxy of chaos and war. Seeing this, Franca started to laugh. If you really want to leverage, you should continue. Let me do a count. Heir of the Blood Emperor, divine child of the Great Mother, friend of the Underworld Taoist, the one who serves the peak beings of both calamity and sacrifice. Better forget those. If you really added them as your name, you may drop dead on the spot. A room can't hold that many people, LEMMiNO joked. I thought of the third line before going to bed. What is it? Franca asked. The dual-bodied one forged by fire and frost. Dual-bodied one. Jenna read the last part aloud, suddenly understanding this was preparation for Aurora's resurrection. Dual-bodied one refers to both you and Aurora, and also to the female and demoness. To the female demoness and male hunter, as well as the me outside the mirror and the one inside. Brilliant, Franca praised. Fire and frost corresponding to hunter and demoness, and being forged by fire and frost will inevitably bring intense pain. Only sufficient obsession and the strong could continue to bear it. Am I wrong? Is the music not so good? Am I crazy? Like, the music is so good, right? As she spoke, Franca shut her mouth, then feigned and sighed. Things will get better, she patted LEMMiNO's shoulder. Indeed, Jenna said. After reconciling with myself, my condition has actually improved, LEMMiNO laughed, looking at the paper on the table for the fourth line. I want to show both my current highest sequence characteristic and point out how I differ from most beyonders of the hunter and demoness pathway. No, Harsh. There's so many good music. There's so much good songs after this too. Like, it's not just like the you know how like a lot of playlists will have like the first really good song then drops off a cliff. Nah, it does so good for like three or four songs in a row. I know it does oddly fit, Chris. I agree. You have abilities merged from both pathways, noticeably the fire of destruction, and most obvious trait of the demoness of an aging characteristic is eternal youth, Franca pondered. An aging saint holding destruction? LEMMiNO nodded. Make it bearing, although holding makes me imagine a beautiful demoness extending both hands holding back flames of destruction. The unaging saint bearing destruction sounds better, Franca imagined. That works. Finally, his honorific name was determined. The Chariot of Mr. Fool. Proxy of chaos and war. The dual-bodied one forged by fire and frost. An aging saint bearing destruction. The great LEMMiNO Lee. As he put down his pen, he laughed. I just thought of a hellish joke. I could also add Protector of Cordu to my name. Jenna and Franca exchanged glances, both feeling that LEMMiNO had indeed improved. Although we can now summon Madam Judgment's messenger to inform her of our names and ask her to contact the Church of Knowledge on our behalf. Hopefully, getting an opportunity to visit the City of Exile soon. Only after the time is confirmed can I go borrow the gift of the land that sealed artifact is far too dangerous. I can only use it very briefly. He knew that although Jenna appeared calm on the surface, she was quite anxious. Obviously, Jenna had hoped to become a demoness of despair before Julian returned to Trier. Alright, Franca didn't delay. After sending both letters to Madam Judgment and Hermit through their respective messengers, the three demonesses waited for Madam Judgment's reply. Franca looked out the window at the early evening lights and said, "The scenery is beautiful and the environment nice, but it feels stuffy living here." This villa had just been gifted to them yesterday by Madame Justice as compensation for awakening Mr. Fool. Franca had moved her belongings, specifically that small analyzer machine, and had announced her return to the Telegraph Group. "Stuffy?" Jenna asked. "Maybe I'm just not the type to live in villa districts," Franca said. "I prefer having lots of shops downstairs, street vendors gathering in the morning, but sleeping in a room, away to avoid being disturbed. Eat what I want, go down when I want, and buy it. When there's nothing to do, I stand by the living room and watch children chase and play, and watch how vendors do business. Watch what stories passerbys may act out, and sometimes a non-ordinary one's hearing faintly catches some gossip." Yeah, Miss Moneybags, genuinely. Madame Justice said, "You know, I have this villa. It was gifted to me for like my half birthday, but like I don't really go to Trier that often. You can just keep it, you know?" Franca's voice grew softer, as if immersed in such scenes. After a few seconds, she sighed and said, "Living here is good too. At least we don't have to worry about affecting innocent people when we fight." With saint-level abilities, that would be difficult, Lumin reminded. Franca remembered. As soon as Madame Judgment's reply came through a jellyfish-like messenger, the results from communication with the Church of Knowledge will come tomorrow at the earliest, or the day after tomorrow at the latest. Tomorrow, or the overmorrow? Lumin nodded. Oh, by the way, do you guys know the day after tomorrow can also be called overmorrow? Fun fact. Lumin nodded and smiled. "Then, there's nothing urgent for now. We have some leisure time." He then left the bedroom and went downstairs. Then he went to the study, took out several popular novels and a pile of recent newspapers and magazines. Came to the living room and started reading under the bright crystal gas chandelier. "Why are you reading these?" Franca asked. Yep, fun fact, Chris. Let me show you. This is how it's spelled, overmorrow. On the day after tomorrow. So instead of saying the day after tomorrow, you can just say overmorrow. Yes, wait, I didn't see it in a fucking YouTube short. And get out of your fucking brain-rotted head-ass hope. You can learn stuff outside of YouTube shorts and TikToks. God. Oh, he saw a reel. My bad. Sorry, that's where real knowledge is disseminated. I apologize. The conversation with Mr. Fool and the exchange during the self-conciliation really helped me understand some things. Since the path of the end is already determined, whether it be the apocalypse or resurrecting Aurora, there isn't really anything urgent, and if there isn't, I may as well be kinder to myself. Have you ever heard someone say overmorrow? Did you not just hear me say it like 10 times? Did you not hear me say it twice in a row? Just now? I said it. What's up? So at least 8 people here can go, I have. What's up now? They cooked me yesterday and didn't let me go home? Uth, what are they doing to you over there, bro? Yes, Lumion too deserved a life of joy. She extended her hand and said to Lumion, "May I invite you to watch a play or opera tonight?" "Sure," Lumion said. "May I invite you too?" Jenna said to Franca. "Of course, I thought I was going by default," Franca smiled. Jenna then looked at Anthony, who was also reading a newspaper in the living room. Anthony put down his newspaper and cleared his throat. "A lot?" "Elaborate. Expound." "After staying in the Dream City for half a month, I haven't contacted many of my intel sources in a long time. I have appointments tonight." "Alright," Jenna then said to Ludwig, "You must come." Of course, no one else would watch him. "Does the theater have food?" Ludwig asked. "We can get you candy-like food, the kind that doesn't make noise when you eat it." "You really should experience more things," Franca said to Ludwig. "Life isn't just about eating." "Nah, I don't think so," Ludwig said. "How about a hot pot tomorrow?" Franca got excited. "Does Trier have all the ingredients for a hot pot base? Or a hot pot base?" Jenna asked. Before Ludwig could respond, Franca said, "We can have another version, with bone broth. It's not as complicated, and we can use garlic, faint potted chili, salt, and such for dipping. It's equally delicious for those who want spice can add spice, and those who don't have to. We can use pork bones or beef bones for the broth and add some common spices, and mushrooms." "Skip the mushrooms," everyone said. After discovering their very unanimous opinion, the three burst into laughter. Ludwig, who had just been made hungry by the talk, swallowed his saliva, and this made Franca laugh, and laughter echoed through the living room. When they returned to the opera, it was already late at night, and Franca walked back to her bedroom with light steps. In the corner of her bedroom sat a small analyzer machine connected to a mechanical typewriter. "I'll chat a bit before going to bed." Franca walked over to the complex machine and said, "How should I tell 007 and the others without showing off that I now have an honorific name?" "Oh, right. First, to summon Madame Hella's messenger." After sending the meeting request through the skull-headed messenger, Franca turned on the wireless telegraph receiver and small analyzer machine. The messages were typed onto paper by a mechanical typewriter, one after another. Franca read for a while before joining the group. "I am the group's early sleep assistant. Those members who haven't gone to rest yet must pay me a fine. Only gold accepted." As she sent out the telegram, she recalled life in the Dream City. Group chatting over long distances in real life is so difficult, Franca thought. Suddenly losing the desire to even show off her honorific name. What about Sequence 3? Even Sequence 3s can't solve the problem of real-time long-distance group chats. Can I say it? God of Steam and Machinery still not having had invented telephones yet is kind of giving fraud. A little bit. It's kind of giving fraud. God, this music is so fucking fire! Jesus! If we ultimately survive the apocalypse, I hope the God of Steam Machinery, no, God of Electric Power and Information Technology will bring about a new industrial revolution. He has been a fraud from the start. Right, Harsh? He doesn't even have to fucking think of stuff, bro. You just gotta copy it. And he can't even fucking do that. I will say, Sal told me he's kind of limited though. He's like, because problem is if he does a lot of, I think, I don't know if this is headcanon or this is real, but what Sal told me was he was like, God of Steam, Stiano's limited because he's like, bro, if he starts giving them advancement, the first thing humanity does is look to the fucking other celestial planets and they all get fucking zonked out. And he's like, bro, like, God, these guys are dumb as a bag of bricks. I'm a demoness of an aging. I cannot wait, Franca thought. Moon King was the first to reply. Look at my nickname. Obviously, the type was only active at night. By the way, Hidden Blade, you haven't been online for almost a month. What kind of missions doesn't even leave you time in the evenings? Look at you, not even knowing that secret missions require turning off phones and cutting off contact. You clearly haven't dealt with such things before, 007, am I right? Franca suspected Moon King to be joking with her. 007 replied, I was locked away for a while. You advanced to Sequence 4? Franca pricked up. Yes, I got the qualification. And the whole group chat exploded. A demigod! The first saint amongst us beside Hela and Gandalf. This is our third demigod, right? Of the Research Society? 007, didn't you say that even with your qualification you'd have to wait for a long time? I thought I had to, but recently the Church not only brought out many stored Sequence 4 and 3 characteristics, but also crushed some Grade 1 sealed artifacts. Most candidates who currently qualify and meet the prerequisites have been scheduled for advancement, though most failed. This situation made me suspect major events will be occurring over the next year or two, which is why the Church is mass-producing demigods. Hold on, that's so scary! That's so scary though. The Church is going, fucking send it, boys. We need all the demigods we can get our fucking hands on. Okay. Kami, can you just put on Persona 3 music now? I just wanted to Like, okay, you've heard the music now, Kami. I think you would know offhand now when it can be used. But I just wanted to, because I really love this playlist, and I thought you guys would enjoy it too. I want Witcher. Yes, master. This matches the speculation about the apocalypse coming early. This EBS church thinks so too. Franca noticed the other group members falling silent. Clearly, also thinking about major crises. Franca could tell that 007 was probably part of why the EBS church was doing this, given that he was now a saint. Did he become an unshadowed? Franca asked. She didn't actually want 007 to continue advancing on the sun path, feeling the unshadowed were too pure, and being within the church it would inevitably lead to fanaticism, and if so, 007, the one who would complain about her always finding things to keep him too busy, may rest, may never speak such words again, giving Franca the feeling of a friend slipping away. However, she had never tried to persuade 007, only pointing out the changes that being an unshadowed may bring. Everyone's life should be in their own control. She was also grateful that when she was hesitating between becoming a war bishop or advancing to the demoness of an aging, Lumin and Jenna only presented options without persuasion. Although they probably had their own thoughts and preferences, they never showed them, never presumed, never manipulated, and never judged. That was very kind. An unshadowed may not have dark, selfish thoughts, but I hope 007 does. 007 replied yes. 007 continued, some colleagues have switched other paths, and some colleagues not in neighboring paths have also gained an enhancement, or advancement. She kept telling herself 007 just deliberately hinted and reminded everyone to prepare for major events and disasters, showing he retains his humanity. What major events will happen in the next year or two? Wind Sound asked. I don't know, 007 continued. Stop asking. Stop asking. For Franca inserted herself into the conversation. What can we do? What we can do is take opportunities to improve ourselves and enjoy life in the meantime. Hidden Blade, you seem to know something, the Moon King asked. If I tell you the apocalypse is approaching, but there's hope of survival if tall figures shield us and everyone is prepared, would you believe me? After a long while, 007 said, I believe you. Damn it, I'm panicking. Great Lord Hidden Blade, introduce me to a demoness. I'm going all in. Damn it, I hope it won't be a case of dying before spending all my money. I need to buy land and dig a bunker. With 007's enforcement, everyone believed Franca's words. Okay, don't say base to slavery, Chris. What the fuck? I don't have anyone who can ban you, Chris. God. Rein yourself in. Get it together. Those who could join this group were either laid-back, good-natured, or decent people. Although they were all quite nervous and worried, they could still express their inner thoughts in a lively, playful language. Seeing her initial purpose achieved, Franca seized the opportunity to say, I, too, have become a demigod. Now I believe something really big is gonna happen. Go to heavens! The Hidden Blade has become a demigod? Are you still a demoness, or did you switch? Still a demoness? Demoness of Despair, 007 asked? What does he mean? Right, he is already an unshadowed, a church higher up, and while demonesses mainly operate in Intes on the southern continent, even if he doesn't know what exactly the Despair Potion is, he must know our advancement ritual. Don't worry, I didn't harm innocent people. I used a shortcut. Shortcut? Rituals have shortcuts? The Moon King asked. How can you advance so quickly? Wind Sound asked. Are you even a human anymore? Oh, demigod, I suppose. Actually, we all transmigrators possess certain special qualities, Franca considered saying. In a sense, we are chosen by the celestial worthy. But that's not entirely a good thing. What special quality? Everyone asked. Can't say. If you know, and you will know when you encounter it. 007, are you still in Trier? Franca asked. Still in Trier. Many of the saints who have advanced have stayed in Trier as mobile forces. Don't say real, Chris. What the fuck are you guys doing? Does the EBS Church think Trier is where problems are most likely to erupt? Franca couldn't help but lower her head to look at the floor. What she really was looking at was the fourth epoch tree and the special mirror world sealed beneath Trier. Will the apocalypse outbreak start from beneath Trier rather than the high-altitude barrier? Franca furrowed her brows as this thought flashed through her mind. At this moment, Madame Hella's messenger returned. Franca caught a letter and said, "Tomorrow morning at 10, Rue Ancienne, Little Dairy Cow Cafe." Little Wink Wink Cafe? Franca, who had dared only to go out after using lie to lower her looks and suppress her charm, arrived at the cafe 15 minutes early. Dude, I love how demonesses are now literally like, they're like, bro, I literally can't leave the house or men will start throwing themselves at me. Genuinely. Genuinely. It is cooked. I need something to lower my looks. Cooked. She sat by the window watching with interest as people came and went. Soon, Madame Hella appeared. The moment she saw this lady, Franca had a sudden feeling that she had walked between darkness and sunlight, and death and life. Hella's complexion growing paler. Oh, was that about watching Brain Rot? Fuck, but it's bad timing, Hope. It's bad timing, okay? I didn't think you were here. Has Madame Hella advanced again? Indeed, if the EBS Church is mass-producing demigods, why would the Evernight Church not do the same? She switched back to the death pathway? Sequence 3? Ferryman? Good morning, Franca stood up. A glass of absinthe and a triple shot espresso, Hella said. Dude, this was genuinely us watching Formula 1 last Sunday. The race started at 9 a.m. We get to the bar and we're all just like, fuck. The guy, the owner of the cafe comes by and he's like, "Hey guys, you guys want something?" We go, "Coffee, black, rum, Coke." He goes, "Alright. You'll take a can you do like a iced Americano?" He goes, "Yeah, that's no problem." And then he goes to the next. He goes, "Hold on." And a gin and tonic. He goes, "Oh, okay, my bad." This is genuine, and we're like, "Oh fuck, dude, we're so cooked." 9 a.m. on a Sunday. As they both sat down, Franca fiddled with her veiled hat and said, "I went to a place recently with skyscrapers, electric cars, mobile phones, and the internet. Unfortunately, it was just a dream." "I know you went there," Madame Hella nodded. "What the fuck? How?" Although Franca had long suspected that the one at the Dream Provision Store was the Evernight goddess and believed that Madame Hella was highly valued by the deity, otherwise that ancient palace in the Evernight, in the nation of Evernight, would never have been offered as a meeting place. She never imagined that the goddess would tell Hella about something so trivial. "Actually, I've known the truth about the transmigration for a long time," Hella continued. "Before I knew? How?" At this moment, the waiter brought over a glass of absinthe and a triple shot of coffee. Hella's face went pale, but showed a bit more expression. After Port Santa's sea prayer ritual, after seeing the fairy tale-like magic used by the helper you invited, like Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, and Sleeping Beauty? I thought they came from Roselle's fairy tales. I requested materials about this and learned what the core ability of Sequence 4 Mysticologist of the Mystery Prior pathway is. Alright, how's it going, man? It's called Mystical Reenactment and can draw power from mystical knowledge to create magic or witchcraft. The less known and spread the corresponding knowledge, the stronger the spell. Those fairy tales aren't just stories, but mystical knowledge? This proves they actually happened in our current world. From that day on, I knew that we had always been in our world and only time had passed. Franca remembered Hella's gaze and attitude when she mentioned Harrison in the hope of returning home, and at that time she already knew, and she was looking at us with sadness and pity. "Got a job? Let's go!" Aaron, I am gonna need you to delete that though and censor that word. It is gonna trigger some folks here. But let's go, baby! I personally am super happy for you. Yay! Good job, man. Fuck yeah. I'd originally planned to hint it to you all, but then Harrison incident happened, and many of you became excited and hopeful. Like me, Frank understood. Okay, don't say welcome my fellow slave. Okay, that's not don't do that. And listen, man, jobs are great. Okay, listen, people, everyone nowadays is like in this fucking shit of their where they're like, no, I want to be a fucking crypto influencer. Fuck that shit. Okay, you don't want to be that fucking guy. I know his life looks cool, but listen, there's like one of him, and everyone else who tries to be that fucking guy is genuinely fucking a failure. Okay, the level of LARPing that exists nowadays is crazy. Some jobs. Yeah, I'm not saying you want to be a fucking McDonald's worker for the rest of your life, okay? I want to be clear. Nothing wrong at working for McDonald's, but you don't want to be like, oh, well, I have a job and I'll just stay here. No. Don't be content. I just mean but you can get a regular job and like work hard and get a couple of promotions and have a good life. Fucking everyone for all of human history has been doing that and has been able to do that. You can do it too. Trust, okay? Madam Hella, should we tell the others the truth of transmigration? Frank asked. Not for now. Let those who haven't accepted reality live with hope. After we survive the apocalypse, if we do, we can tell them. Indeed, have something to hold on to. However, we can't let these hopes become too strong, too intense, or too urgent, or I'm worried it may make them make extreme choices. That is good enough for now. Don't actually catch Harrison. Even if we catch him, we can't tell them, Franco replied. I'm getting okay, I want a 9 to 5. Oh, you're a server, right? I think I asked you about this a while back. I don't think I'm wrong. I am, yep. Yeah. Don't say... Kami, that was good timing. I didn't... that was good timing. Oh, fuck, that got me. It shouldn't have, but that was funny. Are you in college, university, Hope, or are you just working full time? Okay, Chris. We can mention it a bit. Just focus on emphasizing hope. When is the next gathering? Franca asked. Sometime next week, hopefully, Franca said. Or Hella decided. Having discussed the important matters, Franca gazed at Hella and said, speaking of hope earlier, do you have any hope left? She asked. This wasn't the question she expected an answer. She didn't expect an answer. She was just reflecting. To her surprise, Hella actually answered, my biggest hope now is to survive the apocalypse. And if the apocalypse is resolved and we're all still alive... The most memorable gift in life was the telescope my parents gave because I loved watching the stars and loved imagining what existed in the cosmos. If we survive the apocalypse, I have but 2 dreams. The first, for this world to develop something like our original one. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, just similar. Second, provided those evil gods are gone and I can protect myself, I wish to use my abilities or help from certain artifacts to explore the stars. That doesn't sound so bad, Franca thought. Got a place at an IT repair shop. I'm in college studying CS. Oh, that makes sense. So what year are you, Hope? Second. You sound like you're a second or third year. But you did say soon, so maybe you're 4th year. Usually staying in Trier, enjoying modern life when bored, inviting Lumion, Jenna, and Aurora, playing with Anthony and Ludwig, Madame Judgment at 007. The cosmos is indeed dangerous, and we may not survive the apocalypse. But many people need something to hope for. Looking at Hella, speaking softly, Franca felt this lady's image had become much more vivid in her mind. Technically 2nd, but I've been studying for 3? Okay. Okay, cool, man. No, CS is not going to go anywhere. Listen, the problem that AI is causing, it's not that jobs are disappearing, it's literally entry-level jobs are becoming more scarce, which is rough as fuck. Problem is, now it's just like, oh, well, we want senior engineers, but we don't want to train junior engineers. You know, like, fucking what? I'm sorry, do you think the fucking senior engineers grow on trees? If you don't train junior ones, how is that gonna happen? Thankfully, I am a grad that will never go out of style. Accounting. Hell yeah. Do I do anything vaguely related to accounting? I mean, kind of. I do like equity analysis and shit. I guess, like, I mean, having an understanding of like fundamental accounting of companies is helpful. Ugh, but it's fucking useless. She waved the waiter over, having snuck glances at her from afar, and ordered 2 glasses of sweet wine, 2 glasses of absinthe. Picking up one of the sweet wine, she made a toasting gesture. Hella didn't quite understand, but raised her absinthe. This toast is to our homeland. Franca clinked the glasses and drank. Hella finished her drink as well, and picked up another, and said, "This one is to distant horizons." With a gentle click, they drank again. After returning to the villa, Franca said to Lumi, and Madame Hella said she'll convene a meeting this week. Madame Judgment has also replied to us. The church has agreed to our request, but they need to do some processing and preparations. The time to go to the City of Exiles is set for next Monday. That's good. Julian won't return to Trier till Thursday, Franca said to look at Jenna. Honestly, we need to trick your brother into leaving soon and not return for a couple of years. If the information 007 provided is correct, Trier will be the key point in the breakout of the apocalypse. I'm working on it, Jenna said. Every job wants you to have experience, but you cannot get experience. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so cooked. And then it's like, oh, well, you should have had an internship. Brother, my uni had like 10,000 people vying for like 7 internship positions. What the fuck are you talking about? There's certainly not much to do. Lumin smiled. Let's go for a walk. Your attitude has improved recently. In the past, you would definitely have been anxious, wasting time. Where to? Jen asked. Let's go to LEMMiNO docks, to Mr. Fool's Cathedral. The preaching and establishment of the patron saints should have begun. I wish to go and listen. Listen to others talk about you? Franca showed some resistance. Neither she nor Lumin had told Madame Magician which cathedral they wished to be assigned to, because they both wanted to be modest. I don't mind, Lumin said. Besides, we should look around in the area and see if there's any way to collect anchors. Ugh, fine, Franca said. If this were in the Dream City, I'd debut as a celebrity. Those fans would be my anchors. Though there are problems with that, too. These kinds of anchors have an expiration date and can be passed down. Plus, the different attitudes and different points from fans would bring conflicting perceptions. True, Lumin said to Jenna. When you reach Sequence 3, you should consider becoming the most famous theater actress on the northern and southern continent. Of course, assuming you receive Mr. Fool's protections, or... Lumin didn't finish the sentence. I don't know what that's implying. Graduating is the issue. I'm getting beaten at maths. I'll sell a kidney for an internship. Genuinely, this is how bad it is, right? Are you in the States, Hope? Or... If you don't want to say, you don't have to, obviously. In the Square District, LEMMiNO docks, inside Mr. Fool's Cathedral, Lumi and Franca and Jenna settled into a corner. At this moment, the half-giant bishop, wearing a custom-made coat, was preaching. On the one wall that had previously been bare, artists, using scaffolding and tools, were creating new murals. In this world where the church held such a status, being commissioned to create religious murals for a cathedral was the highest recognition you could receive. No, what is a developed country? Okay, cool. On paper, at least. I'm calling it. He's in Romania. Dude, I'm gonna keep guessing everyone is from Romania until eventually I hit it. I'm gonna get one guy. I'm gonna get one guy from Romania. I will. And I'm gonna bink it that one day. One day it's gonna be nailed. Shortly after, Lumen and the others sat down, removed their hats and lowered their heads. The bishop proclaimed, "Let us praise Mr. Fool. Praise the Fool!" All the believers stood up and pressed. "Let us also continue to praise this cathedral's patron saint, the great Saint Franca. Our cathedral is thus named. Saint Franca is Mr. Fool's cup." Bearing people's joy and pain, keeping disease and plague at bay, the ageless one, the demoness who spreads strife and catastrophe to enemies. Am I crazy? Could she not go with Saintess? I thought demoness and Saintess are like one and the same. Why would a fucking saint of a orthodox deity not go with Saintess? Why would you go with demoness? Are you dumb? She once walked in Mr. Fool's dream, working for the Lord's return, breaking through illusion and reality, bringing the Lord's grace to the land. Let us praise Saint Franca! Praise the one who never ages, the keeper of disease and plague, the demoness accompanied by strife and catastrophe, the cup bearing joy and pain, the great Franca Roland. The believers began to pray, and Franca turned her head to Lumion. I hear some illusory voices and see some points of light. Now I only have 13 chapters to go, which means if I read 10 chapters a minute, or what? 10 minutes a chapter, I will be done in over 2 hours now. God damn it, Chris, what are you doing to me? What have I done to you, bro? At this rate, I will be done. I will be finished my promise a day in advance at the rate Chris is making me go. I need to get to 1080 by Monday, and at this point I'm going to be at like 1075 tomorrow. What is this? I did say I want to end this fucking book, bro. I do want to end this book. My goat. My goat, Uth, asked me to end it, so I'm working hard here. Oh, Sal's never coming back, Uth. I've talked to him. He said he's like, I'm done. I'm never coming back to streams. It's over. I have nothing anymore. After I finish COI, I'm actually done streaming. It's over. Lumen recalled the faith-related materials provided by the Tarot Club and said, this should be the mystical manifestation of faith anchors, the result of chanting your name. Oh, I'm getting prayers, Franca understood. Fortunately, we are now unified, both inside and outside the mirror, with our consciousness both existing inside and out, allowing our mirror self to handle matters related to believers without affecting our daily life and combat. Otherwise, if we were suddenly hit with prayers during combat, it'd be easy to get distracted. However, I think some pathways Sequence 3 should be able to use these prayers to strengthen themselves like the Sun pathway. War Bishop, Lumen smiled. Within a certain range, the more anchors, the stronger a War Bishop becomes. His soldiers are all anchors. Franca nodded, browsing the points of light. Continued good health, family being safe and sound, business success, no dangers, staying away from chaos and war. All generic prayers. I can't respond. They're so vague, Franca muttered. Your fate domain powers could be useful here. There's nothing that good luck and fortune turning can't solve. Isn't there anyone praying to curse their enemies? There's one prayer asking for illness to be cured. I'm professional at making people sick, but healing isn't exactly in my domain. Did you have some of those healing agents left from Mr. Moon? Jenna thought. Lumen had 11 bottles, while Franca, Jenna, and Lumen each had 2. You're right. Nobody said a patron saint can't use external help. Franca took out a potion. While recalling the mystical materials provided by the Tarot Club, she imitated their contents along with knowledge from pre-crossing textbooks, magnified the point of light, and extended her spider silk so fine it was invisible into it, inserting it into that believer's nostrils and reaching his stomach. During this process, she used her petrification powers to make the flesh touched by the spider silk enter a paralyzed state, preventing the prayer from noticing. Then Franca unscrewed the healing agent cap and let the liquid flow through the spider silk. After completing this, she withdrew the spider silk and removed the paralysis. The believer with many patches suddenly felt their stomach become heavier, as if they had drunk in a glass of water. They didn't pay much attention and finished their prayer. Just then, the believers let out a "huh?" Seeing people around them looking, he said, "My spirit and body feels better, my body lighter, my illness cured! Huge! I just prayed to the Saint Franca, and she blessed me. Praise you, keeper of disease and plague, great Franca Roland." Hearing this, Franca felt both embarrassed and delighted. Getting sincere praise from others feels nice. After this batch of believers left the cathedral, Franca lowered her head and said, "We can't rely on healing agents every time. Since my name involves the keeper of disease and plague, there should be plenty of such requests." Actually, at Sequence 4, one can create their own plague, varieties, or mystical pathogens. I want to invent a pathogen whose characteristic is devouring other pathogens. While its effects on humans is just causing drowsiness, fatigue, or laziness, it could cure most diseases in the ordinary, except for their physical mutations. If you succeed, this could be used in a battle with other demonesses, LEMMiNO said. Of course, this was just a concept, and whether it could even be applied remained unknown. "There's another illness that demonesses can cure," Franca said. "What?" "Functional disorders," Franca clicked her tongue. "Just throw a charm at them and it works every time." "What the fuck is wrong with you? You're a saint." "Get it together," LEMMiNO said to her. Franca thought for a bit and continued. "When I advanced the other day, I felt there were anchor points beside you two. Some others seemed to come from the market district. The dancers and streetwalkers you helped, especially those whose lives changed for the better?" "That's a kind of anchor," Franca sighed. "No good deeds goes unrewarded. However, with the mob gone and us forced to leave the market district, their situations have worsened, so they miss the past. I'll return to the market district, find the people currently in charge of matters, persuade them or control them." Acting on her words, Franca and Jenna left the cathedral for the market district. LEMMiNO didn't follow, worried that doing so would split Franca and Jenna's anchors. He chose to take a carriage to the outskirts of the St. Lumian Cathedral. On the way, 15 to 20 points of light appeared before his eyes, and illusory prayers echoed. "My preaching has begun," LEMMiNO nodded. As Franca had said earlier, the vast majority were so vague and difficult to achieve, and LEMMiNO temporarily had no intention of using his fate domain abilities to help others. While browsing, he discovered a relatively special request. It wasn't actually a request, but rather an elderly woman telling the patron saint about her regret. When she was young, her family poor and couldn't afford photographs. By the time their circumstances had improved, she had aged and could no longer capture her youth. "I regret not cherishing those early years in Cordu properly," LEMMiNO decided, for a moment, to respond. He magnified the corresponding point of light and saw the old lady with obvious wrinkles, wearing a conservative black dress. Layers of mirror worlds then appeared in LEMMiNO's eyes, reflecting the lady at different stages in life, her as a child, as an innocent youth, her mature and steady self, and her kind and benevolent self. Sitting in the carriage, LEMMiNO chose the mirror trace of her at 17 or 18. The wrinkles of the lady contracted and her skin gained luster, an application of the unaging characteristic, but when used on others, it could only last very shortly, no more than a half hour. After the old lady returned to her 17 or 18-year-old appearance, LEMMiNO then said to her, "Hurry." The lady broke free from her prayer state, not knowing what had happened. You. Everyone widened their eyes. "What about me?" she asked. You. They couldn't even form sentences, but someone handed over a mirror, and the lady looked in the mirror and was frozen. "What's going on? Have I regained my youth?" As thoughts raced, the old lady recalled the voice that had just told her to hurry, and she stood up and ran. "I'm going to get a photo taken!" She squeezed out of that area and walked towards the cathedral door. As she walked, she lifted her skirt and began to run, getting faster and faster, just like when she was 17 or 18. Running to the nearest photo studio and sat in the photo in front of a backdrop. With a click, a flash of light captured her youthful and radiant smile. In the carriage, having responded to the prayer, LEMMiNO considered a demoness's faith anchor issue. War bishop is so much simpler. Recruit soldiers and cultivate a team. Most of a demoness's abilities tend to disaster, making it difficult to positively gain believers. I suppose the others probably rely on seduction and charm and fear. In the early stages of faith, making people fear is also a method of developing believers, the easiest one, but since we are affiliated with the church, we cannot do so. LEMMiNO suddenly thought of a sect that spread fear of disease, the sick church. Is it possible to take over the sick church, eliminate all the blessed and those corrupted evil gods, then steal the faith directed at them? This is somewhat similar to the section about the sea gods church in scripture. What the fuck is the sick church? Wait, I have heard this. No, I've heard this name before. I remember making a joke like, oh, I'm sorry, what's the fucking next one? The poverty church? Or something to that effect. I don't know. I made a joke. I can't remember the joke. You see? Yeah, see? Oh, good night, Hope. Sorry. Saint of erectile dysfunction healing is... That's funny. Said he was recruited by sick church that can control the sickness of people. Oh, yeah. Having considered his next direction, LEMMiNO looked out the carriage window. By now, the carriage had reached the greyish-white city walls encircling Trier. The Church of the Fool's newly established cathedral in Trier was located in the suburbs, right next to where the Srenza River curved. After arriving at this town called Ram, LEMMiNO discovered it wasn't small at all, with numerous steamships at the dock and streets bustling. After asking the carriage driver, LEMMiNO understood the reason. Most goods entering Trier had to pay an entry tax, though rates varied. Many goods didn't need to be sold in Trier or transit through it were unloaded at Ram and sent to the surrounding towns, gradually making the town prosper, attracting many maritime merchants, adventurers, and sailors, bringing with it the faith of the Fool. It is gonna slow down a lot though, because there's so many videos I want to make, so there'll be like half the days that I was gonna stream, I'll take the time to like edit videos and stuff. Because the problem is, I would love nothing more to just being like, hey, listen, I make like $300 a month, or you know, like a number off of streaming a month. I'll just pay all of that to an editor. Just take everything. Like, I don't even want the money. Just take all of it. Just edit my fucking videos. Just edit videos. I will give you this. I will do the voice. I will let you know how I want it edited. Just edit the fucking video. Like, I don't have time for it. Just do the editing. Take all the money. Just take all of it. I don't even care. It's just YouTube is so inconsistent. Like, there's no editor in the universe who would take that fucking deal. LEMMiNO had heard from Franca that the EBS Church had long wanted to abolish the entry tax to promote commerce and improve circulation. But this tax was one of the Intis Republic's main source of revenue, and the government simply couldn't give it up. LEMMiNO put on a wide-brimmed hat and began wandering. Soon he found what was now called the St. Lumian Cathedral, but didn't rush to enter. He just stood at the street for a while, admiring the large glass window. I hope one day no clergy will state that St. Lumian will make do with their actions. After making this joke, LEMMiNO continued to walk. What is that? Can someone explain that joke to me? I don't get it. The main faith in this town was EBS, worshipping the Trier's patron saint, Saint Viev. LEMMiNO examined the white stone angel statue for a moment before walking into a bar diagonally across the square. I love how LEMMiNO was like, let me go check on my cathedral. Yo, that looks like a sick bar. This bar had good business, and on the weekends, many people from Trier would come to freely enjoy various alcoholic beverages that didn't have a tax. As soon as Lumin pushed open the bar's heavy door, he felt gazes turn towards him. He remembered that he was now a lady, an extremely charming lady. It was never like this when he was a man before. Most thieves would observe to judge if there was a chance or possibility of theft. The sense of belonging at home was gone. Lumin shook his head and took out a revolver. He placed his hand on the doorframe and pointed the revolver at the ceiling and pulled the trigger. The bullet brought down clusters of dust, and the people in the bar scattered. This left Lumin a spacious path to the bar counter. With a chaotic scene, bro, you're supposed to be a saint now. When the scene of people taking cover had settled, Lumin deactivated the bottle of fiction and walked towards the bar counter and said, "I want a drink." The bartender was staring at him blankly. "One Lafite Verte." The bartender snapped out of it and poured Lumin an absinthe. Lumin didn't remove his hat or lift the veil, slowly sipping. The other people in the bar returned to normal. In this small town, frequently visited by pirates and adventurers, they were used to such things. Lumin quietly listened to the chit-chat and whisper, trying to discover useful intel, but unfortunately what he heard was mainly discussions of him. There were the most discussed topic was what it meant to be a person of dual bodies. There were artistic representations, such as having a female body but a male side, being both flame and frost, and there were vulgar ones like busty top, hard down below. A man after my own heart. Lumin turned his gaze towards the drunk who had said the latter. His Highland Lake eyes like mirrors. The drunk was making obscene gestures accompanied by his earlier description when his chest and lower body experienced intense pain. He screamed in agony and fell to the ground. This stunned those around him who had been agreeing with the joke, and after about 10 seconds the drunk came back to life. What the fuck just happened? Illness? You should go to the clinic, man. The drunk just shook his head. It hurt, but I'm fine now. As he spoke, he looked down to check his physical condition, surprised to find his chest had strangely swollen from the burns, and his lower half had become like stone. Busty up top, hard down below, someone repeated. Everyone quickly moved away, looking at the drunk. It was him who insulted the saint, not us, everyone thought. They weren't standing next to him. Don't let the lightning strike affect us. In their fear, everyone unconsciously had the same thought. Is the new patron saint this efficacious? Lumin withdrew his gaze, letting the reflected figure disappear. This was a small punishment, not affecting any essential functions or health. For Lumin, he didn't care at all if someone insulted him. He would just take the opportunity to play a prank. But insulting Aurora was unacceptable. They didn't insult her. They insulted you, bro. Moreover, this was an opportunity to reasonably use fear to spread faith. Lumin looked at the absinthe in his hand, seeing his veiled, half-visible face reflected in the dreamlike liquid. The deep red wine swirled, and 3 faceless wooden dolls placed within. Female Lumin is technically Aurora, but then you can't insult Lumin then. Because I can't insult Lumin because you're going to say, well, I'm female Lumin right now. And if you're insulting Lumin, you're insulting female Lumin. And if you're insulting female Lumin, you're assaulting Aurora. And if you're assaulting Aurora, I will kill you. I'm sorry, but that mental gymnastic means you can't talk shit about him. Franco leaned back in her chair, leisurely admiring the blood-colored permeating the wooden grains in the hair that had slipped into the crevices. After looking for a few seconds, she turned to look at the 3 men and said, I only have 2 requirements. First, help me collect intel, and second, follow these 13 rules I've established and treat those dancers and streetwalkers well. First, no coercion. Second, ensure adequate rest. And number 13, provide basic medical care. We're the mafia, not a fucking charity. The most hot-tempered one laughed, and Franco laughed too. Right. I'm not doing charity either. She then flicked out a quiet black flame, letting it fall on one of the dolls, and the doll was covered in black flames. The gang leader who had just spoken started screaming out in agony as flames erupted from his body. I was wrong! I am doing charity, I'm wrong! Neither Frank nor Jenna responded, watching silently as the gang leader collapsed, convulsing until he died. Any objections? Frank asked. None. No? The other two said. Remember to look at it every day, and if there's any violations. Franca picked up the remaining 2 dolls. You should know that they represent their demoness's curse medium. After becoming a demoness of pleasure who could directly curse through mirrors, Franca no longer needed to use such black magic. But mirror curses were a real time and couldn't be fixed in place. To control these 2 gang leaders and make them obey, she still needed to make media like dolls. We get it, everyone said. May I add another rule, Jenna thought. Sure, Franco responded. Rule 14. Loan shark annual interest rate cannot exceed 36% at no additional fees. No problem? No problem. Franco put away the 2 cursed dolls and said casually as she walked to the door, I know you have some supporters. I don't care what they think, nor will I interfere with your territory disputes or making money. I only want the things I have mentioned. If your supporters are not satisfied, then let them come see the statue. As she spoke, strands of grey-white light spread out and fell on the dead gang leader's body, turning the corpse to stone. No problem with that, right? You'll notify me if you wish to move against me, won't you? Franca turned back to the 2. We will, of course. Leaving the room, Franca walked towards the dancers. Boss! Several girls cried out. Franca nodded. Things will go back to how they were, but I want to say this isn't a long-term profession. Across from the theater, Franca and Jenna sat on a bench, calmly watching the audience, coming and going. Not going to say hello? Jenna asked. No need. They're fine. There's no need for them to see me. True, Jenna responded. This is left for you in the future. You'll be the protector of actresses. After watching them for a while, they returned to the villa. By this time, LEMMiNO had returned and was saying to Anthony, help me collect intel on the sick church. The sick church? Franca suddenly understood and said, I have some intel sources now. I'll keep an eye out. Okay, bro, you're not that guy, pal. Franca, I appreciate you trying, but you're embarrassing yourself. Not, bro. Are you watching stream or are you just here to make memes? Tommy, can I ask you for a favor? Can you put on Persona 3? Witcher 3 is so quiet, or like so like such genteel music. I'm passing out. Fucking hell, man. Late at night, neither Anthony's intel sources, nor Franca's gang informants, nor Jenna's neighborhood contacts were able to provide any sort of intel to the sick church. Franca sat down at the mechanical typewriter, turned on the wireless graph transceiver, preparing to ask 007 if the EBS church had any intel. Ding! A group messenger notification. Hidden Blade, who did another good deed today, has joined the chat, Franca announced. Before she could send another message, she saw a telegram come in. Hidden Blade. You didn't advance to sequence 4, but to 3, did you? Everyone was stunned. Franca was too, then understood. I don't want to show off, but I appreciate you letting me do so, and she replied, yes. After a brief, indescribable silence, one message after another was spat out. Are you serious? That's not fucking funny. What are you talking about? Wait, I remember you mentioning just a month ago that you were sequence 5, and now you're 3? What? A demoness sequence 3? I cannot imagine how beautiful and charming you must be, my lady. You must pay me a visit. Really? Are there any secrets to advancing? Name your price. We must be able to scrape together something, right? Hidden Blade, did something happen? Do you need some help? At my sequence, I might not even be able to participate in combat, but I can help curse those people. 007, how'd you know? Someone finally asked. Hidden Blade is now a patron saint and has her own honorific name. LEMMiNO! Holy shit! Long time no see, buddy. How you doing? Holy schnaz.
When there's a beginning, there's an ending too. As we go, we'll come out crazy.
Yo, bro, just woke up. Nice, nice. Just woke up. Where the fuck? You've got to be in like Japan or some shit. I don't know. Well, I guess it depends on what time you're waking up, I suppose. Patron saint. Honorific name? I really can't connect these two terms with life is short when I give it a shot. Hidden Blade. Indeed, it's too surreal. Please show some hidden respect to the great Hidden Blade. Lord Hidden Blade, is there any chance you could take me on as an apprentice? You wish to become a demoness too? If I remember right, you can switch. I can't accept that the strongest in our research society is now the silly Hidden Blade. Hey, if you put it that way, that makes it sound even dumber. I'm in Japan? Are you kidding me? You're saying I fucking binked that? Fuck, I should have guessed. Fuck, I was supposed to guess Romania. I'm sorry. Fuck. I forgot. Shit. But okay, I did bink that though. Is that not a little crazy? Franco couldn't help but smile. I have to say, showing off like this feels pretty good. Moreover, these joking remarks gave her a sense of being grounded. Hey, she typed out. You don't really think I'm brainless, do you? I was just being approachable. Jeez. Madame Hella is also sequence 3 now. She's a bit earlier, or later than me. As for the president, I don't even know. So you really are a sequence 3? Anything you can tell us, or people ask? In advancing the sequence 4, digesting the sequence 4 potion, and advancing the sequence 3, I met some special conditions as a transmigrator that allowed me to take some shortcuts. So I became a saint rather quickly. She didn't mention that she had completely digested the sequence 3 potion. After all, the Telegraph group had quite a few members, and most of which hadn't met in the real world. Though she was willing to trust them, she couldn't gamble in their circumstances. Besides, if someone asked her what a sequence 3 demoness was called, Franca didn't want to hide it, and because 007 pointed out that she was already a patron saint of the cathedral, her honorific name couldn't be hidden from those who paid attention. This way, someone may be able to make some connections from the instant digestion and the name Demoness of Unaging. At this point, Moon King, Wind Sound, and the others seem to have lost the mood to even joke. So, what are you now? The Demoness of Unaging, Franca replied. Unaging? Eternal youth? Can you also extend others' lifespans? Moon King asked. Theoretically, living another 1,000 years or 2 shouldn't be a problem. Franca tried to control her pride. So envious, everyone replied. One after another, they all expressed genuine feelings. Who wouldn't wish to be immortal and ageless? Franca thought for a moment, then typed out, "Those in the Trier region, if you have any difficulties and need help, recite my honorific name. For those not, I cannot help. I cannot hear you. My honorific name is the one who never ages, the keeper of disease and plague, the demoness accompanied by strife and catastrophe, the cup-bearing joy and pain, the great Franca Roland." After a little while, little Peppa sighed. Wait, we got Peppa Pig in chat. Huge. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan of this artistic choice. I feel now there's a sad, thick barrier between us. Want me to call you Lord? Or want to call me Lord and let me hear it? Franca asked. 007, do you have any intel about the Sikh Church? Franca asked. Based on their team's collection and analysis, they believe the Order of All Extinction and the Sikh Church probably worship the same evil god, but the former mainly corrupted the upper and middle class, while the latter targeted the lower class. 007, neither type fast nor slow. The several Sikh Church-related cases discovered earlier have been handled, the corresponding blessed have been eliminated, but we haven't found their upper ranks. Those followers who only know the name Malady God now have sufficient manpower with mid-sequence Beyonders watching them to see if anyone will contact or make unusual events occur. Besides that, there is no other intel. These cultists have been quiet for months, hiding quite well. Very well behaved. Similar to the state before the hostel incident. Something really big's about to happen, eh? Other great existences may not know what the Great Mother wants to do, and how she would do it, but they should have foreseen that something would happen. After all, we've all made some guesses, so they restricted the Blessed and Trier, letting them either transfer elsewhere, or wait patiently to fish in troubled waters. At the same time, she also caught another hint of 007. Followers who only knew the name Malady God could be saved. Indeed, those great existences all preach using aliases, not letting followers truly understand them. This isn't because they're merciful, but because they truly understand. Because truly understanding them would lead to corruption. Some may be fine only experiencing personality alterations and extreme mentality, but most would have their bodies collapse, becoming monsters that constantly spread corruption, making it impossible to preach in silence. True not. But that's only a fraction of the power of a fucking Sequence 3 Scholar of Yore. You're just like, I got marionettes up the ass, bro. Not only can I, if any one of them lives, I live, but they're also all fighting you. What? Huh? Eh? One reason why seeking boons required performing rituals was to protect the corresponding humans through the ritual, and after establishing a stable but temporary channel, the corresponding being could consciously contain their mental and will corruption into a boon. Even saints like Franca and Lumen understanding of those great existences was limited, but compared to others, they knew that these existences stand at the top of multiple paths. Wait! Am I crazy, or has Lumen not advanced his, boon powers in a long time? Are we about to get a shit ton of advancement there too? Or has he just given up on that? What do you guys think? In reality, amongst the great existences, the only one who didn't preach using an alias was the Mother Tree of Desire. Oh, well, Amon is gone, so no place to get boon. Oh. Oh, right, yeah. Madam Magician mentioned that Mother Tree of Desire was a small segment of the corresponding existence's long string of names. There are only two reasons why understanding and reciting it didn't bring corruption. First, it was only a small segment, incomplete, and the second, the Mother Tree of Desire indirectly controlled the one worshipped by the Rose School of Thought in the real world, and the Devil Monarch in the Abyss. So when this honorific name was mentioned, under the conditions... Yeah, but why would he not be asking COI himself, though? Oh, Uth, Amon died. You weren't here for this? Uth, you were here. COI would kill him? Guys, stop. COI isn't giving them for free? What? What do you mean? COI is a great guy. What are you talking about? What can we do? Franca didn't hide the troubles of a saint. 007 quickly replied, Triers gather a large amount of official forces. These cultists won't surface for now. Later, we'll have enough manpower to investigate everyone in key positions. That's how it is here. Does Amon dying have to do with Lumien's boons? Uth. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Oh, Uth might have gotten a major spoiler. I don't know how. Yeah, because Uth has been very intermittent, so I don't know how much he actually knows. That's how it is in Trier, but in the marginal towns of the Trier region, in places where the church and government are weak, there still may be active cultists. Go look there. Right. With Trier's current situation, we definitely won't find anyone. But we can search in the suburbs and villages. Indeed, only official Beyonders have this kind of vision and experience. Genius, Franco replied. Let me guess, this is someone who hasn't read it. Okay, Uth, let me give you a little hint, okay? So, Amon was killed by Adam. Nothing else. That should give you... It's not going to give you the answer, but it should give you a direction to think of, okay? The confluence of the Srenzo and Rhine rivers created a fertile valley region in the Trier district, with villages and estates dotting it like jewels, strung together into what can be considered the most beautiful and exquisite necklace in all of Intes. Tremiboris, the angel of COI, had his fate stolen by Amon, who replaced him. Amon was Tremiboris. Yeah, that's what I thought. Amon, yeah, that's what I thought. Uth was here. I feel like I remembered him being at that stream. What? Vivel town was one of the most peripheral towns in the Trier district. Quite ordinary in both geographical location and resources, and had never received much attention. In the basement theater of the Wild Rabbit Cafe, though there was no puppet show at the moment, 20 to 30 spectators gathered. Some were clearly townspeople, while others seemed to have just arrived from the surrounding countryside, with mud spots still visible on their trouser leg. Under the yellowish light of the gas lamp, the cafe owner, Dalbaro, standing at the center stage, looked around and said, "You've all seen Niel's death photo very clearly. He tried to betray us, but then the great malady god brought down punishment." In the photograph, the man in his 30s had his eyes open, frozen in fear, showing signs of obvious decay. Dalbaro was a typical Intis man, blue eyes, curly brown hair, neatly trimmed beard, and a ruddy but thin face that made him popular with the ladies. At this moment, his expression was unusually gloomy, and his gaze swept across the face of each of the malady god believers. "Welcome, the malady god. Drive out disease," everyone started saying. Disease has long been scattered through this world. Through the great malady god's grace, they haven't devoured most humans, only dealing with those who abandon the deity. I saw with my own eyes how Neil died, in pain and regret, tormented to the point of breakdown. Remember, devotion is the best medicine. After completing the sermon and receiving offerings from each follower, Dalbaro had the congregants leave in batches. Then he returned to his bedroom and placed the newly acquired money in a safe. After finishing this, Dalbaro was about to head to the door when he saw his reflection in the full-length mirror undergo a transformation. He had become a woman. The woman appeared to be only around 20, with cascading black hair, each strand glossy but thicker than normal. The eyes Highland lakes, clear, bright, and dreamlike. For a moment, Dalbaro forgot to be surprised, forgot to be cautious, forgot to be afraid, and just watched as the lady in the mirror walked out and approached him. "Oh, goddess of my dreams, angel more beautiful than the Trier Valley, my soul and my heart, what can I do to serve you?" You Trierans. After worshipping an evil god and receiving boons and having your personalities altered, it doesn't stop you from spreading your peacock feathers, as Lumion thought. Are you a disease envoy? Lumion had already gained information about the malady god from 007, learning the names of several boon sequences. Yeah, but what happens to Amon after that? Exactly. Listen, I gave you a direction. Use it. Run with it. Or don't. I don't care. Sequence 9, patient. 8, secretary. Seriously? Secretary? 7, vermin. 6, disease envoy. 5, child of decay. Okay, that's kind of cool. 4, Doomed One. I feel like Doomed One and Lucky One are like perfect opposites, no? Dalbaro shuddered, breaking free from the charm, and said, I don't know what you're talking about. He knew he should find a way to escape, but he couldn't bring himself to. Would you like to know how I found this place? Lumen smiled. First, I used magic mirror divination to determine the general area, then infiltrated the official channels to get data on disease-related deaths from the several years. After that, I had an inconspicuous beyond our Ascaron bars for anyone who had fallen ill but recovered in the past few months, then checked the bodies in the morgue. Perhaps blessed by the gods, I had good luck and discovered Neil, who died with his entire body rotting. That doctor and those orderlies are followers of the malady god, right? Thanks to them, similar punishments were never exposed, and afterwards, helping with cremation was no problem. What do you want? Dalbaro said. I'm a demoness. You know what I want. I know a little. No wonder. Although the church always emphasized that demonesses were enemies, establishing connection wasn't impossible. Then you should know what we demonesses are classified as a cult by officials and suppressed everywhere. We can barely stay in Trier anymore and want to cooperate with you. Cooperate? Dalbaro was willing 1,000 times over in his heart, but maintained basic vigilance. Yes, the Primordial One hopes to receive the great malady god's protection in the future, and is willing to become his consort. Report to your superiors. You definitely can't make decisions about this matter. Kill the superiors, become the superior, then gain the qualification to properly discuss cooperation with the demoness. Before him, Dalbaro thought. How could he ever let her look down on him? Finally, Dalbaro controlled himself. I will find an opportunity to report this. Are you secretly spreading disease? Lumen nodded, trying to weaken and control me. It was just instinct. You came so suddenly. I couldn't control myself. It just happened. It's simple biology. I understand, Lumen said, but I should warn you. It has little effect on demonesses. After speaking, his figure faded and disappeared right before Dalbaro's eyes. This was just a projection that Lumen had manifested through the mirror world. She's so nice, even warning me, Dalbaro thought. After about 15 or 20 seconds, he managed to break free from his state, looking at the sunlight outside, then left the bedroom and came to the study and opened a secret room. The room empty with bare walls, peeling paint showing signs of decay. Dalbaro lit a candle, locked the secret room's door, and checked his surroundings. After confirming there was no abnormality, he knelt down, assuming the posture of a penitent. Envoy of depravity, of corruption, witness to humanity's end. I'm sorry, but if you have to pray to a god, and part of that god's name is witness to humanity's end, I'm sorry, as you gotta say it, we're probably not the good guy here. Child of rot and disease, palm of the god of decay, the great malady god. He was praying and beseeching his superiors, the first lines directed at them, but the malady god wasn't. His superiors had deliberately borrowed their worship deity's alias to conceal their true nature, saying they could respond based on proximity. As Dalbaro chanted, the already dimly candlelit secret room grew darker. Meanwhile, in an opposite the Wild Rabbit Cafe, Lumen held a plain silver mirror reflecting the cafe and the building around. In reality, pedestrians were coming and going, and the cafe had neither many nor few customers. But in the mirror, only the corresponding buildings and rooms existed, no humans. No, there was one. Dalbaro kneeling. In reality, the secret room in the building still existed, but there was no lit candle, nor was there Dalbaro. When Dalbaro finished the chanting of the name, Lumen felt the information trying to drill out from the mirror, establishing some kind of connection. He neither blocked nor influenced it. What is it? Dalbaro heard a voice. A demoness has found me, representing the demoness sect, in seeking cooperation. Demoness? Dalbaro heard a superior curse. Idiot! Before Dalbaro could come to his senses, his body began decaying. He was certain to die. But before this, Lumion had already sensed the consciousness drilling into the mirror along the previously established mystical connection. He reached out with his right hand and stroked the surface of the mirror. The consciousness from afar instantly left the mirror world. Beside him, Franca held another mirror, using it to perform mirror divination, as she asked, "Where is the source of the trace?" In the blink of an eye, Franca reflected a scene: darkness, enclosed, seemingly the interior of a coffin, seemingly containing a corpse that hadn't completely decayed. Bro, can we I don't care about the fucking sick church. Can we go talk to Han, bro? What's happening with all that? I feel like every time I'm excited to learn something, Cuttlefish would be like, guess what? We're not doing that for 800 chapters. Lock in. You know what we are about to do? You know these random fucks I mentioned once, 800 chapters ago, that you forgot? We're about to become pretty fucking important, though. Like, bro! Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to be here. As soon as Franca tracked down the source of the traces in the mirror, Lumion immediately grabbed her shoulder and teleported. In just a second or two, Lumion's figure materialized in a cemetery between mountains, appearing beside a gravestone. Lumion cast his gaze at the gravestone and read the name that was engraved. Macoxidos. So you've been long dead, buried. No wonder the churches could never find you. Who knows how you managed to avoid purification or cremation, Lumion mocked. He had anticipated various methods of contact Dalbaro may use, intercepting the corresponding information, establishing connection. Before Lumion could finish, the ground in front of the gravestone exploded. The countless pieces of stone and soil shot towards Lumion like bullets. At the same time, Lumion saw a hand cyan in color, swollen to the point of being translucent, and yellowish-green pus flowing, making every capillary abnormally clear. These capillaries and palm lines together formed complex symbols and patterns. Just looking at them made Lumion freeze in place. You're damn near a fucking angel, man. Everything can be freezing you. Get it together. At this moment, his field of vision was occupied by this hand, and compared to it, the shooting stones and soil seemed tiny. As Lumion began to tremble, his frost-white, cream-like skin developed black spots. These spots eroded, causing his flesh to rot. Lumion couldn't move, nor use any of his abilities, and his thoughts were decaying. This was no saint's hand. This was clearly the left hand of a god, and never looked directly at God. Lumion trembled, his mind sinking, unable to make any effective response, as if destined to walk around the end of decay. Towards everything around him was decaying, and suddenly his right palm became scorching hot, bringing an obvious stinging sensation. You're telling me that's the literal hand of a god? What the fuck are these gods doing? Genuinely. A fucking black hole comes through and they're like, I sleep. Mr. Door has to come and fix it. They let a fucking part of a god come through and they go, damn, can't find it. Damn. They're good. They're good, boys. What the fuck are you guys doing? You have a home court advantage. Get it together. Lumion abruptly had a sense to extend his right hand and touch that left palm, to let the black pinhole in his palm touch the other. This allowed him to barely regain some self-consciousness, but it was too late. The stones and soil hit his body, causing ripples and the sound of breaking glass. Behind him, a hidden mirror revealed itself. The current Lumion wasn't his true form, but rather a projection. Of course, Lumin was also nearby. After teleporting to the cemetery, he had concealed and thrown out a mirror, but the impact of directly looking at a deity still affected him, wounding him. As the ground, stones, and soil weathered, that cyan, terrifying hand pressed against Lumin's projection. The projection shattered, illusory figures rotting and fading. A series of cracking sounds came from Lumion, who had been hiding near a tree. Bro, can you imagine? You're like, damn, where could Lumion be? He could be anywhere. Then, like, off to the right, you just hear crack, 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 like fucking mirrors shattering, like 50 of them, and you're like, damn, where could he be? Just a second or two, even with repeated mirror substitution, the black spots and decay on Lumin's body perished, or persisted. Just a second or two later, his gaze lost focus and his presence disappeared. He fell in a highly decayed state, his traveler bag raising dust. He died on the spot. At that moment, the figure from this gravestone emerged. A middle-aged man wearing a black suit without a hat, his face long, with rotting spots, showing bone on both sides and his skin pale. Dude, can I say it? Working with these fucking small organizations is so much better. Think about it. That fucking loser guy that we just met was reporting directly to a god. And I'm gonna say, well, you only need your hand. Okay. His hand is like wiping the floor with a fucking saint. And that fucking rando fuck is reporting directly to this guy. You in the Church of Evernight, you're a sequence 6, and they're like, You wanna know about the cemetery in your own city that you protect? Are you an idiot? Do you know how small you are? How dare you? This is way beyond you, fucking idiot. Meanwhile, this rando fucking sequence 6 is like, my lord, and his lord is genuinely a god. And you're like, what? What? What are we talking about? His left hand hung naturally, its cyan-green swollen state different from the rest of its body. Before Macoxidos could check the situation, surging, quiet, indifferent, greyish-white appeared from behind the gravestone. Wherever the grey white passed, whether floating dust or weathered ground, everything became solid and heavy. Macoxidos didn't panic, extending his left palm towards this grey white. Although there was no physical contact, the grey white slowed, becoming sluggish, even developing cracks. At this moment, a mirror flew from the traveler bag, and at that moment, Lumion appeared with a smile on his face. His eyes had already captured Macoxidos' figure. Two flames containing the flame of disruption leapt from Lumion's pupils. Macoxidos screamed in agony as bursts of flames erupted from his flesh, igniting both his soul and burning his body. Macoxidos immediately screamed in agony. He hurriedly withdrew his left hand and tore open his abdomen, trying to pull out the source of the flames. But this was a demoness's curse. The source was Lumion himself. Lumion had disappeared, perhaps teleporting to somewhere distant, or perhaps hiding in the mirror world. As Macoxidos' left hand collided with the fire of destruction, the corresponding black flames began to weaken. But the black flames didn't extinguish completely, stubbornly continuing to burn Macoxidos' flesh and soul. While Macoxidos dealt with one threat, he couldn't handle the other, the previously suppressed greyish-white surging, crossing the barrier and spreading to the side. His clothes quickly took on a greyish-white color, turning to stone. Macoxidos' body emitted a putrid aura, with greenish-yellow pus oozing. The pus covered Macoxidos' body, causing him to decompose. Some pathogens were still entangled with black flames and quickly annihilated, but others that weren't originally affected managed to escape. At this moment, the greyish-white color symbolizing petrification grew more intense, engulfing more pathogens and turning them to stone. Lumion's figure materialized at the side of the gravestone, smiling as he raised his palm. Throughout the entire valley cemetery, from earth to sky, strange black flames ignited. In this hellhole, every tree and blade of grass withered, collapsing as the surviving pathogens around the gravestone lost their spirituality. After about 5 or 7 seconds, Lumion heard a shrill curse. From this he knew Macoxidos had died, and due to the burning of a demoness's flames, the other spirit would dissipate in the next dozen seconds, unable to channel his spirit. Lumen flipped his hand, using the mirror to pull the area around the gravestone of Macoxidos' spirit into the mirror world, thereby affecting the return of the boon power. He and Franca then crossed into the mirror surface, arriving at the area behind the mirror. During this, Lumen couldn't help but reflect on the recent battle. Macoxidos' performance had exceeded both his and Franca's expectations. That hand likely belonged to a true deity. Merely seeing it and being pressed by afar crushed Lumen's resistance. This definitely surpassed Sequence 3, reaching an angel, or perhaps even higher so. Most Sequence 3 saints from other paths would have died irreversibly facing that attack. Fortunately, Lumion was a demoness of an aging, difficult to kill and skilled in revival. Moreover, other demonesses of an aging couldn't manage this so easily. They would likely have their mirror person die along with them, only able to revive through a pre-placed mirror in a hidden location disconnected from themselves, containing a sleeping mirror person, taking dozens of minutes or even hours. Lumion had something special. Thanks to the stimulated aura of Alista Tudor, he managed to break free from that left hand's influence to an extent. Even so, all his mirror substitutions were destroyed, and his true form had to die once, though it didn't affect his self in the mirror. I love how Lumion just said, so I just died, but like, it's calm, like, it's fine. Like, if it was anyone else, they would have died, but like, I just died. That's all. I'm fine. If not for Franca's assistance and containment, Macoxidos would have escaped before he could revive and return. That left hand was formidable. But aside from that left hand, can he give that left hand to the Tarot Club and gain another free sequence from them? Can he be like, listen, I give you the left hand of a god, you give me the anus of an angel. It is a fair treatment. 1 for 1. Franca doesn't need one this time, just me. Did the existence of that left hand suppress the manifestation of Macoxidos' other abilities? Well, time to go back to the ship. Dude, I love how the Tarot Club gains and Alger pays. I love it. It's like, hello, the whole Tarot Club has gained something formidable. Mr. Hangman, pay the man. he's like, bro, why are you raiding my coffers? What the fuck? Did the existence of that left hand suppress Macoxidos' other abilities, causing his thinking and reactions to delay? Since Amon could modify the ability manifestation of various sequences in the Marauder pathway, surely the great existence using Malady God as an alias can do the same. When bestowing power, he adjusted the sequence abilities, lowering the rank of his own, or a left-hand projection of an angel, near the Divine Throne to Sequence 3, but had to reduce other abilities as a result? As these thoughts raced, Lumion looked at Franca and took out his Chariot card and Fool Sacred Emblem. For the upcoming theft and manipulation, he would definitely beseech Mr. Fool's help. Lumion didn't have such abilities. If he could control Macoxidos and have enough time to use large-scale black magic, using a saint as a medium to establish contact with all Malady God believers, he might barely be able to take over the sick church by himself. But now, there was less than 30 seconds. As Lumion watched the cemetery turn grey-white and faintly visible fragmented spirits, he lit the candles with one hand holding the Fool's Sacred Emblem and the Chariot card in the other and said, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck. I implore you. I beseech your assistance." Regarding the sick church matter, Lumion had already reported to Mr. Fool before, explaining his thoughts, so there was no need for a detailed description now. After setting up the imitation ritual supplication, Lumion and Franca's thoughts became sluggish. Like when they had to pull an all-nighter before gaining their abilities. Then they seemed to see a hand wearing a black glove. That hand covered the high sky, ethereal and illusory but not present. Almost simultaneously, tiny fragments of spiritual light gathered, resembling Macoxidos's nearly annihilated body. Around the soul body, illusory points of light appeared one after another, while from its body extended an insubstantial cyan-green yellowish line, stretching to infinity. That line wavered, pulled back by an invisible force, connecting its ends to form a closed system, no longer maintaining contact with the outside world. Only this way could Lumen and Franca's theft of the Sick Church faith avoid being corrupted by the horrifying will of that existence. For a great existence of this rank, bearing his name meant becoming him, even if it was just one of his aliases, since no one had preached in the name of Malady God before, and this title had subsequently established a connection with him over time. This was him, just not as closely as his true honorific name. After the illusory line connecting the anchor and object of faith entered a self-cycling state, those points of light surrounding Macoxidos's a remnant spirit floated towards Lumion. Scenes then appeared in Lumin's eyes, representing each bestowed who knew Macoxidos's honorific name. Ordinary believers weren't qualified to know and chant the honorific name. They would only pray silently according to their preacher's intimidation and sermons, adding prefixes to Malady God. This was also an anchor, they just didn't have such points of light. Lumen scanned through them all, discovering that amongst these bestowed only one had godhood and clearly didn't have God's left hand. Only one sequence 4, the rest are all lower mid-sequencers? Is this all the power they have in the Trier region? I must pay attention to that sequence 4. He may see through my and Franca's disguise, realizing it is blasphemous for deceiving his faith. He may possess part of the Malady God's honorific name. Just as Lumen thought, he saw the doomed one in the light pocket take out a pair of gloves from somewhere, put them on, and nod. Is he controlled by Mr. Fool? Parasitized? Lumen's confidence doubled. He put on the lie earring, altering his throat structure, and began issuing commands to each bestowed. The situation has changed. From now on, the great Malady God will gradually descend to reality in twin form. They are the god of plague and the god of disease, both male and female. Pointing to Lumion and Franca. As for Jenna, there was no reasonable way to add her now. Only Lumion and Franca could truly control the Sick Church in the Trier region. Changing the doctrine and adding new saints would be easier. Lumion continued to speak, spread the new doctrine to believers quickly, urged them to master the honorific names of both deities and pray. The first, the lady more ancient than the times, servant of calamity, child of plague and disease, destroyer who walks in the shadows, guide of all lost lambs in Trier, the great god of plague. Lumion had borrowed his sister's own uniqueness, then pierced together his own specialties. Child of plague and disease, or destroyer, all came from the top powers of Hunter and Demoness that had given him a boon and caused his palm to mutate. This way, even without using his true name but referring to himself with the false god of plague, he could be precisely indicated. Then, this was also adding anchors for Aurora. The other is the ancient one who transcends time, one who remains young forever, envoy of disease and plague, the lady who spreads pain and despair, protector of humanity's adventurous spirit, the great god of disease. To ensure descriptions combined with accuracy, Franca imitated Mr. Fool, incorporating her uniqueness as a transmigrator into the description. I love how okay, no, you know what? I stop. I dislike how calmly Franca and Lumion take Mr. Fool. They're like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna do like kind of like what he, motherfucker, you are nothing like him. Don't you ever fucking sully the name Mr. Fool by thinking I can just kind of do what he did, okay? Idiot. You are not the fucking same. God, this is pissing me off. I'm gonna fucking end the stream. Don't be like, oh, we're both trying to migrate. Fuck off. Don't pretend like you're doing the same thing here. Of course, Franca didn't dare bet that no other high-ranking beings in this world matched just the two descriptions of ancient one who transcends time and remains young forever. In the depths of space and various alternate dimensions, there may be beings who had lived from before the primordial one's awakening and didn't age. Since apparently only Earth's living creatures had encountered the apocalypse back then, crashing out over nothing. Harsh! This shit means something to me, okay? Just because to you it's just fucking words on a page. Leave, okay? This shit means something to me, damn it. God, you guys are overreacting. But such beings could surely no longer be called humans. After initially anchoring herself with the first two descriptions, Franca took several titles she had considered earlier, but weren't suitable for inclusion in the Church of Fools patron saint. Selected that those who fit the sick church doctrine added Protector of Humanity's Adventurous Spirit, a title that had earned her mockery. But it wasn't actually bad. Change to Witch of Wood's last line of this chapter if I'm not back. Sounds good, man. This could effectively distinguish her from Aurora while remaining neutral. In these 5 honorific names, the Great God of Disease became optional. However, it wasn't useless. As time passed, the Great God of Disease would eventually become associated with Franca. If she could become an angel in the future, God of Disease would truly become equivalent to her. After explaining the most important matters, LEMMiNO saw those illusory points of light return to their original size. They had been grafted onto him. Of course, this wasn't permanent, and LEMMiNO hadn't intended it to be. If he hadn't needed these bestowed to preach and change the believer's understanding, he would have killed them all on the spot. These were severely corrupted people who had received boons from a corresponding existence. To LEMMiNO, who had usurped the position of Malady God, they were genuine time bombs. I'll need to watch over them. One of the Malady God's believers in Trier established a connection with me and Franca. I'll eliminate these bestowed immediately. The grafting of faith anchors can last at least a month. That should be enough. LEMMiNO exhaled. The power that he had made his and Franca's heads made insufficient, then receded. Then LEMMiNO looked at Makaksidos's remaining spirit floating. Surprised it hadn't dissipated. According to LEMMiNO's previous estimation, after entering the mirror world, Makaxidos should pass away in just over 30 seconds. But now it seemed to be holding on about 20 seconds. What had just happened couldn't have only taken 10 seconds. Just speaking, the honorific name took that long. Did Mr. Fool slow down time? Did time slow only for Makaxidos' spirit body? Or did Mr. Fool grant his spirit body more time? No worries, Zuth. You're good, man. I appreciate you coming by. You don't gotta be sorry at all, man. I appreciate you coming by. You're good. Uth, just remember, man. We got 130 chapters and we're done this book. 125. 125 chapters. It's nothing. We're almost done. What do you got? We're laughing. There should be time to ask one question. LEMMiNO wasn't concerned this would lead him to being noticed by the entity worshipped by the sick church, because Makaxidos' connection with that being had been cut off. Regarding Makaxidos and the sick church, LEMMiNO had actually had quite a few questions. From these prayer light points, just now the sick church only had 10 or 20 bestowed in the Trier region, clearly not a large scale. But amongst fewer than 20 bestowed, there was actually a sequence 3 Makaxidos and a sequence 4 doomed one. That seems a lot. Back then, 007 as a church deacon for the district of Trier was only a sequence 5, with 2 teams of Beyonders under him. Even though bestowed couldn't directly be compared to those who advanced through potions, this was puzzling. Normally, such a team composition with a sequence 4 demigod would already be the limit, and that only because Trier was so important. So LEMMiNO wanted to ask what the special contribution Makaxidos had done to receive such a boon. Perhaps important secrets were hidden here. Soon LEMMiNO completed the magic mirror channeling spell taught by Franca and asked, what incident led you to receive a boon to the left hand? After the vortex incident. Oh, I gotta change music, hold on. I'm trying, okay? It's not changing. I think he said Witch of the Woods, right? I'm not wrong. Witch of the Woods, yeah, we're laughing. After the vortex incident, God specifically bestowed upon me, telling me to stay in Trier, to do nothing else, not to expose myself. You didn't make any special contribution? When he heard the word vortex, he thought he'd found a key point, but unexpectedly, Macoxidos's answer was different than he had expected. This was even weirder. Because I am devout, compared to the order of all extinction, we are the overlooked, doing less. God specifically bestowed upon me only because of my devotion. Before he could finish speaking, his soul fragment had faded too much to sustain the spirit channeling. Lumen and Franca could only watch helplessly as he dissipated. Franca took out the inevitable gun and placed it where the cyan, green, yellow point of light were gathering and floating. Since this was an ordinary mirror world, the return of the boon was only partially affected, and when it settled down, most of it had broken free and disappeared. While waiting for the gun's power to be replenished, Franca said to Lumion, getting a Sequence 3 boon without needing to make any contributions? I thought becoming a demoness of unaging was easy. I expected that there was something easier. Didn't you notice this when you were in the mob? If they suddenly gave you a gun, it definitely means they were about to make you do something dangerous. Right? There's no such thing as a free lunch. The more free it is, the more expensive it is. The entity worshipped by them gave Macoxidos and the others more boons, instructing them to lie low, because in the near future they'll be made to do something important. Something they must do even if they die. It is unfortunate that they're a fringe sect. If we had captured a Sequence 3 saint of the Order of All Extinctions, we may even know what the issue is by now. Indeed. Whatever the case, removing one nail is still a nail removed. We don't have to worry about this church anymore. At this point, her inevitable gun showed some changes, expanding slightly overall and taking on a faint cyan green tinge. Franco retrieved the revolver with spider silk and learned the final results. The shots with either certain death or sure hit were restored to 13. An additional new effect was added that could stun enemies, causing their thoughts to decay and significantly alter their thinking. This didn't require hitting the target to take effect. As long as the target was locked onto and the shot fired, they would experience the conditions. And if a bullet with this effect hit, unless the target had previously used a body double, their body would inevitably decay and move to death. Though this wouldn't affect the mirror that the Demoness of Unaging had hidden away earlier. It can't compare to the original left hand. It won't truly make targets feel like they're facing divine descent, completely unable to move or think, but it can be useful. Franco learned that named this effect God's Gaze, which could only be triggered once. It is a pity we were so rushed. If we had brought Anthony's Winter is Coming, his weapon could be replenished too. Franca and Lumion had originally thought Dalbara's superior would be at most a Sequence 4. Though they had made contingency plans for encountering a Sequence 3, it wasn't their main focus, so the execution was somewhat hasty. And there will be other chances, Lumion smiled. He was referring to a Sequence 4 demigod currently under Mr. Fool's control. The gathering time is set for 10 p.m. Saturday. You got the message, right? Franca said. I did. Saturday night at 10, in the ancient dilapidated palace of the nation of Evernight, Lumion materialized. After clearing his throat, Hidden Blade, wearing her assassin outfit, walked to the huge stone chair. Everyone, I have announcements to make. Her voice wasn't loud, but it transmitted through the mirrors carried by the Research Society members, allowing everyone to hear it. That's a nice trick, Hidden Blade, someone praised. You're right. First thing I wish to announce is that I have become a demigod. Many research members stared in shock, unable to believe, as they were about to express their emotions with profanity. The flaxen-colored hair extending from Franca's hood floated up, becoming darker and thicker. This made the majority of members alarmed, instinctively lowering their head as if threads of electricity were coursing through them. This wasn't displaying an incomplete mythical creature form. Franca wouldn't dare do that. She was just showing off a hint of her godhood aura. After a moment when everyone came to their senses, they wanted to express many opinions and use different tones, but remembered Hidden Blade's previous display, the aura of godhood. Hidden Blade was now half god. Franca, seeing their reactions, Franca said, "We're still brothers and sisters, don't be so formal. After all these years, you know who I am. If you don't curse a bit, don't marvel at how the Hidden Blade has become so powerful, don't express your inner shock. I'd be a little saddened." Right. The Hidden Blade's air's back, everyone immediately relaxed a bit. Franca immediately harvested from the joy expressed from her shock and admiration. She had to admit that a small part of her showing off was for the show itself. The second thing I wish to announce is that I have received intel that those evil cults across the northern and southern continent and the Five Seas will do something big in the next year or two, which may bring the apocalypse. If you have chances to advance your sequence, do your best. If not, that's fine. Just enjoy your life and what time has. Hidden in places like the cathedrals and major cities. When the time comes. As long as the true gods can hold on, things won't be too hopeless, and if they can't, everyone should first preserve their useful selves and decide what to do based on the situation. Personally, I think catastrophe will come, but it may be possible to survive. Everyone looked at each other, confused. If the Hidden Blade had just become a demigod, hadn't become a demigod, they would think she was joking. How could the apocalypse come so quickly? There were no omens or prophecies. Everyone turned to Gandalf and Hela. Compared to the newly made demigod, these two had much more authority. Hela walked Frank aside and said members in Trier try to leave within 6 months. This city will be one of the key nodes where problems erupt. Even if you love Trier, you may return after. What's gonna happen? Where will be safe? Will remote villages be affected? People began to ask. Franka pressed down with one hand, gesturing for everyone to calm. The specifics aren't clear, just treat it as a prophecy made by a prophet. There are more than one interpretation. As everyone discussed, she and Hela walked down the steps, and Gandalf, who had just been standing, said, "Let me add one more point. Try to hide in big cities, but not the capitals of various countries." The successive confirmation made the gathering atmosphere heavy. The Academy group gathering spotted the same atmosphere. "Muggle, you're quite familiar with the Hidden Blade. Have you heard more details?" Professor asked. "No. I only know what the EBS Church has placed nearly half of its forces in Trier." Everyone discussed for a while, and Lumion said, "I have something to remind you of. After becoming a warlock, I was infused with quite a bit of knowledge by the Hidden Sage, some of which was about summoning special creatures. This had significant problems. It took a while for me to resolve them, so I have some experience. Have you been infused in knowledge of this area? Something about weak balls of telepathic communication? Something about strong balls fitting in your mom's mouth? I don't know. I don't know. It just comes out, okay? Lumion deliberately spoke very clearly to ensure no one would overlook it. Chris. Moreover, he pointed out that this matter was dangerous and had experience in how to resolve it. This way, if any of the present warlocks had been infused with this knowledge about summoning white papers and hadn't undergone personality alterations, they would surely be alarmed, become fearful, and either openly or secretly seek him out to discuss the problems that existed. "I've never been infused in knowledge of this area," Professor said. After the warlocks gave answers, a man who had spoken little earlier said, "The weak ball can telepathically connect with me, right? I receive related knowledge." Lumin's heart leapt with joy as he looked at this member. Condensed Matter was his name. "Yes," Lumin said. "May I ask you some questions in private? If you're unsure about me, you can have Madame Hela present." "Okay." Soon in a corner of the ancient palace with Hela witnessing, Lumin questioned, "Have you used those descriptions to summon the corresponding creature?" "I have. Is there something wrong?" Lumin's brows furrowed as he asked, "Can you sense anything special about me?" He wanted to see if he could sense Amibella's bloodline. Does being particularly charming count? I suppose. When did you first summon that spirit world creature? Around June or July, 2 years ago. June or July. By then, Polly and Padre already had the child. After being infused by this knowledge, you didn't try it immediately? No, when I received the knowledge, I was traveling with the family, so I couldn't. Later, I was infused with more knowledge and traded it for a grimoire, so I forgot about it. I see. This wasn't for, Can you describe what the contracted creature you summoned looks like? Condensed Matter described, almost in perfect detail, white paper. When you first summoned it, did it have slightly milky, pale, clear liquid in its body, which may have disappeared later? No. No. The one you summoned probably doesn't have any problems, Lumin said. Good. Condensed Matter turned his head with an undisguised joy and looked at Hela. At this moment, Lumin added, "But I can't completely be certain. There's still a few questions I need to ask. This may involve your privacy, and you don't need to be too detailed. I just need the general situation." After hesitating for a few seconds, the other party said, ask away. Thank you. He then posed this question: which deity do you worship? If it's not one of the Orthodox gods, you needn't say. EBS Church? Or EBS, rather. EBS? Isn't this the common point on the surface? All casual believers of EBS, but surely amongst the warlocks in Trier, like Professor and others, there must be some who praise the sun daily to conceal their identity. Are they hiding it? Also, he is a male, but Aurora female, so gender clearly doesn't matter. How old were you when you transmigrated, and how old was the body that you transmigrated into? My last memory was lamenting that I was almost 30 and had achieved nothing. When I occupied this body, he was just 25, different from Aurora's body state after transmigration. Are the current body's parents alive? Nah, they passed long ago. Do you have children? Yes. There really aren't any commonalities with Aurora. At this moment, Lumin recalled something a condensed matter had said earlier and said, "You said when you were infused with the corresponding knowledge you were traveling with a family. Which family members?" "My wife and my elder sister's family." Elder sister? Yes, the sister who raised this body of mine. Lumin stared and felt he had found a key point. The key point beyond the three words, Warlock, Transmigrator, and Grey Fog, brother and sister. The Great Mother has something, a Mother Goddess of Depravity has something to do with this. Because this male-female thing, elder sister, younger brother. Lumin kept talking. He kept repeating two names, Amibella, Zadis. Is he implying that Amibella is the elder sister to Zadis? And the younger brother is supposed to become Zadis, or like is supposed to rebirth, is supposed to become Zadis, and the sister, the older sister, become Amibella. The Mother Goddess of Depravity is trying to get both her children back, basically? Because both her children have been kind of cuckolded. Amibella's been slimed out, and Zadis is like, I don't know, being a bum bitch. He's like traveling around doing nothing. His body cut up into little pieces everywhere. Lumin remembered something from the past. When Madame Magician mentioned the empty baby cradle, she mentioned the word lost. This meant that in the eyes of this angel, who had a relatively deep understanding of the Cordu village incident, something, according to her spiritual intuition, the cradle was empty because the child was lost, not dead. And the subsequent intelligence from Madame Polly and everyone's deductions indicated that Amibella had died early on, killed by her father. At that time, neither Lumion nor Madame Magician thought anything wrong with this. Death was a form of loss, right? But now Lumin had a new thought. Could it be that Polly didn't give birth to one child, but to twins? One was killed and one disappeared? The killed baby Amibella has now returned, but hasn't come to reality yet. What about the lost child? Lumin smiled. He felt this may have something to do with himself, beginning to suspect that his selection of the abscessed hand from such a large collection, making it the first creature for contractee, wasn't coincidental. Similarly, when he arrived in Trier, his choice of the market district and the Auberge de Côte d'Or wasn't just because this was what the deity worshipped by the Aurora Order arranged, but perhaps the Poison Spur mob supported the Night Stalkers there. If this was true, then later, meeting with Father Monty and obtaining Amibella's umbilical cord was destined. Hi, Alma! How's it going? Long time no see. This also clarified why Madame Polly had to find him specifically in the Dream City. Ignoring condensed matter's surprised and confused gaze, Lumin closed his eyes and said, "Hand bro, I'll bring Amibella's remains to you ASAP." The plotted chickens. Trier, 4th floor of the catacombs. LEMMiNO held a white candle accompanied by Jenna, who had the yellowish light half spreading from her hands as they walked step by step to the ancient tomb containing the women's spring. Can't Franca come here anymore? Jenna asked. Before going to Marora to help Jenna advance, LEMMiNO wanted Jenna to meet with Crismona's shadow to hopefully get some hints. After obtaining godhood, one should visit Trier's underground, specifically places like this, as little as possible. Absolute, unless necessary, it is best not to come. Aren't you a demigod? I'm a little special. For me, entering here is as comfortable as returning home. If I were worried about making others nervous, I wouldn't even need to light a candle. Don't... He raised his hand, exposing his palm. He then blew out the candle in his hand. Don't take risks, Jenna said. I was right, wasn't I? You scared me to death, Jenna said. As they talked, they finally reached the ancient catacombs chamber. LEMMiNO looked at the tomb door for 2 seconds. Too bad we didn't encounter Crismona's shadow along the way. I feel she's more friendly outside the women's spring, while inside she tends to be more... evil. The plot may be chickening right now. Chris, I need to finish 1062, right? Okay, so I should get done at like 8:30. Fuck, man, you're making me read so much. God damn it. What's tomorrow looking like, by the way? If you say 18 chapters, I swear to God, I don't know what I'm gonna do to you. I don't know what I'm gonna do to you, but it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I start Grimoire, the perfect run, and what was the name? And the second, and the Manual of ORV. Oh damn, that's a lot, Alma. Chris, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? What are you? Another 15 chapters? What are you doing to me? So Sunday, I'm going to be way ahead of schedule. I'm basically a whole day ahead of schedule at this point. No, I'm 2 days ahead of schedule. Sunday and Monday. I've read 40 more chapters. I do this because don't. Fuck. In front of the grayish-white fog surrounding the area of the women's spring, LEMMiNO and Jenna lowered their heads, pressing their hands to their chest, reciting Mr. Fool's name. When they raised their heads, they had already arrived on the other side of the fog. The two followed the slope down, and after hearing a faint, ethereal splash, they saw Crismona. Take a day break then, if it's ahead of schedule. Has what made COI... So tomorrow you're saying I'm going to really enjoy those chapters, Matt? And Kami and Chris? Confirm or deny? Jenna examined the target's pale, transparent face for a few seconds and stepped forward on her own. Suddenly a gleam of light appeared in Crismona's eyes, a sharp, cold, and vicious. Almost simultaneously around LEMMiNO and Jenna from the sloped ground and the grey of mist above and the air in all direction emerged a thick, slippery, poisonous snake one after another, each with distinct black and white eyeballs. In less time than it takes to blink, this place had become a forest of black snakes obscuring the ground. With these changes, the temperature dropped and the area around the women's spring became a world ruled by ice. You're gonna tear off your shirt and throw your chair out the window? Trust me, bro, I want to milk these COI streams as much as possible. Not because how many are going to read this book, because not many are, and yes, you will love them. Okay, then can you guys do me a favor then? Chris, Kami? Can you guys let people know in the either the COI spoiler chat or in like wherever, if there's, you know, the 3 people who actually give a shit about COI, if y'all could just let them know for tomorrow's stream, I'd appreciate y'all. I can schedule tomorrow's Sunday, so we can make it like noon, we can make it 1 o'clock, we can make it whenever. I got no qualms. Just don't make it hella early in the morning, but like we can make it like, let's say I start at 5:30 my time today. We can do it like noon or 1, so we can do like 4 hours before. Kami, that should be good timing for Europe. That's like dope timing for me. It's like laughing all the way. If y'all could, I would appreciate y'all. Oh, dude, I'm so old. My fucking shoulder just popped. Jesus. With these changes, the temperature dropped and the area around the women's spring became a world ruled by ice and snow, icicles interspersed amongst the dense black snakes covering them with layers of crystalline white. Jenna, an already frozen stiff, ice particles and icicles forming on the flaxen hair. Around LEMMiNO, intense white flames with blue tinge burned, but these flames were also freezing. For LEMMiNO, blocking these for a brief moment was enough. He raised his right palm, using the aura of Alista Tudor. The splashing sound intensified, and Jenna, who was nearly frozen and petrified, lost consciousness. LEMMiNO felt the aura of madness and cold emanating from the underworld Taoist. The water of the women's spring receded into its deep source, pulling Crismona's shadow along with it. Both the black snake forest that filled this area and the frost that was cold enough to be unbearable even for Sequence 3 dissipated. Jenna regained consciousness slowly, and as the spring water began to flow, she heard Crismona say, "Do not advance to Demoness of an Aging." Seeing that the world of ice and snow was about to descend, and thick hairs like black poisonous snake was about to pierce from the ground towards the sky, LEMMiNO pulled Jenna back. Crismona's figure no longer showing any abnormality. Her eyes became empty and blank. "How do you feel?" LEMMiNO had also heard what Crismona was shouting, but was more interested in knowing if Jenna had any special sensations as a pure female demoness. "It's different from what I sensed during the advancement. Crismona is more like the primordial demoness. This isn't about similarities in temperament or feeling, but the malice towards pure female demonesses is nearly the same." The kind of malice that would personally strangle the corresponding possibility. Well, there were subtle differences. Crismona's malice seems to stem more from fear. She is terrified of seeing a Sequence 3 pure female demoness. Is Crismona here a remnant of obsession and malice, so it manifests more directly and obviously? Looking at it this way, there shouldn't be much problem with pure female demonesses advancing to Sequence 3. The hidden danger lies in advancing to Sequence 4. The hidden danger lies in becoming Sequence 3. LEMMiNO gazed at Crismona and said, what was her relationship with her mirror person? Enslavement? Or reconciliation? Or infatuation? "You suspect something went wrong with Crismona before she died?" Jenna asked. "The one lingering around the women's spring might be fine, but who knows what the one near the Crismona night pillar is." "Let's go. We can't talk normally here," LEMMiNO said. "This isn't necessarily bad. Normal communication may involve instigation and deception, what curses, like shouting, based on obsession, are more authentic." COI Start Volume 3 Okay. Alma, you're reading so much, bro. You're reading The Perfect Run, which is awesome, by the way. Love that fucking book. Second Coming of Gluttony, not read it. Shadow Slave, not read it. Whatever. COI Volume 3. It's rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a little rough to the start. That's a lot. Alma, can I suggest you drop everything but Perfect Run, COI, and actually pick up Tower of God manhwa? Cannot recommend enough. And I was talking to Chris about Tower of God too, and I was like, holy shit, bro, I gotta reread it. And he was like, no way, me too. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Normal communication might involve instigation and deception, while curses, like shouts, based on obsession, are more authentic. Through this, we can confirm there are no hidden dangers in advancing to Sequence 4. Through the thin grey fog, LEMMiNO looked at Crismona's body, continuing to wander beside the spring day after day, year after year. Suddenly, Crismona looked at them. This time, fear appeared in her eyes. The fear instantly vanished, swallowed by emptiness. What did she see? But with just himself there, Crismona showed no reaction. When Jenna joined, the previous events repeated. In the next moment, in the new city of silver, at the bottom of the spire, at the end of the mottled stairs, in a room filled with morning light. Under Mr. Sun's watch, LEMMiNO walked to the brownish soil pile and placed both its hands on the tree trunk. At this moment, LEMMiNO felt as if human-like patterns on the tree trunk were staring at him. 2 huge crimson flowers served as eyes. Best not to exceed 2 minutes, or random effects will appear, Mr. Sun said. LEMMiNO made a sound of acknowledgement and exerted force with both hands to pull Amibella's remains. The entire city of silver shook. The morning light in the room grew brighter, and the surrounding black hairs, strands, and plants and mushrooms began to grow, visibly. LEMMiNO placed the gift of the land in a specially allocated room in the traveler bag, then teleported. Can I say it? Where? Can I say it? The traveler bag might be the coolest thing Forrest has ever managed to make. Or will ever do in her life. She will live in eternity and she'll never top this. They just put a fucking grade 0 artifact and the traveler bag is like, nah. Madam Magician, wearing the previously silver-starred black robe, along with Jenna and Franca, were already waiting in the pitch-black mirror realm. According to the agreement with the Church of Knowledge, LEMMiNO and Jenna couldn't go to the City of Exiles through normal means, but the Church would create a gap in Maurora's seal, allowing them to pass through the mirror world. I borrowed it, LEMMiNO said. The Magician nodded, making all the silver stars in her robe light up. A dreamlike starry sky appeared, and stars formed a passage. Surrounded by the brilliant light, LEMMiNO and Jenna arrived in Maurora. Using the authority of 001, LEMMiNO gathered enough serious criminals to meet the ritual requirements, a sea of people. Without wasting time, LEMMiNO said to Jenna, "Finally, let me tell you a fact." What? Even if you really become a Sequence 4 demigod, you won't be able to do much when the apocalypse comes. Whether you can protect your loved ones and friends is another matter. Are you in despair? If you are, then go ahead and advance. Advance with this despair, with the intense desire to change. Fuck. Good thing I'm stronger. I'd definitely lose control during this, Jenna understood. I wouldn't say this to someone who isn't, LEMMiNO smiled. Jenna turned around and looked at the criminals. Her gaze like water, both deep and calm, as if looking at the villains from her past. After a while, Jenna walked through the crowd, heading to the square. It was to ensure that the criminals at the edge would also receive fair treatment. When thousands showed symptoms, growing weaker amidst coughing, Jenna took out ingredients and began preparing. Bye, Alma. Thank you so much for coming. As long as the ritual was achieved and the time limit hadn't passed, achievement could occur anywhere. It didn't have to be in Maurora. Magician used the pre-given mental imprint to transfer her out through the dreamlike starry sky to an area in the mirror world. Of course, this assumed the seal's gap still existed and Jenna's connection to the ritual hadn't severed. This thin grey fog was obtained by Franca through prayers to Mr. Fool aimed at deceiving the demoness and preventing her gaze. During Jenna's advancement, LEMMiNO arrived at the mountain peak of corpses where 001 was, next to Hanbro, who patrolled back and forth. This time, with time running short, LEMMiNO directly pulled out the gift of the land and planted this withered tree trunk. The abscessed hand who had been walking suddenly stopped, his beautiful eyes looking over. His face, which was at the limit of beauty, twisted, emotions like pain, hatred, malice, and pleasure overflowing, and he said in Jotun, "Amibella, I curse you! I curse you to die by the hand of your direct descendant!" Damn W brother. Average younger brother. Average younger brother to older sister. You wouldn't believe it. She stole his yogurt one time. He had some like leftover pizza in the oven that he was really looking forward to eating when he got back from Mother Goddess of Depravity school or whatever. Amibella was home that day, ate it for lunch, came back, first thing he said, listen, I feel like slight over... I get it. I'm not gonna say I don't get it. But it feels like a slight overreaction. Lumion had advanced too quickly and hadn't yet mastered many languages. He had only learned part of Jotun, but he had a contractual connection with the Abscessed Hand, allowing him to understand the meaning. At that moment he was stunned. He had imagined that after thousands of years, the brother and sister uniting would be sad yet heartwarming. Yet there was not a trace of warmth, only bone-chilling hatred. As the Abscessed Hand's voice echoed and the aura around him lit up, as if crimson moonlight was falling. Then, within the crimson moonlight, one after another, illusory doors of complex summoning split open, connecting to different places. On the ground, countless plants sprouted, creeping towards the withered tree trunk that had evolved from Amibel's remains. The gift of the land, stimulated by this, also reacted, with new soil splitting apart, leaving nothing growing. This rich power, with death in return, met the lush scene of life. Standing between Amibel's remains and the Abscessed Hand, Lumion was affected, uncontrollably regressing into a mirror. The influence continued to expand, not giving Lumion a chance to redraw his silhouette. At this moment, streams of invisible flames shot up from various parts of the wilderness, the sky above taking on the color of burning, as a terrifying will that could conquer all had descended. The flesh in the middle of the Abscessed Hand's brow writhed. The distortion of his face returned to normal, and all around him, whether it was the crimson moonlight, the doors of summoning, or the newly grown plants, all vanished. The artifact, gift of the land, returned to silence. As the invisible flames extinguished, the blood-stained wilderness before the mountain of corpses was once again shrouded by darkness. Lumion looked towards the peak of the corpse mountain, couldn't help but mutter, "Boss, aren't you being a bit too hasty?" What do you mean, don't say lover spat, they're brother and sister. Jesus. And? Are you saying they're Are you saying they were together, Chris? What? He wanted to observe this for a while, before using 001's power and authority to suppress, but unfortunately 001 had acted to the stress. However, there was nothing he could do. After all, 001 was the boss, and 001 was actually in a state of deep sleep, reacting purely on instinct, not something Lumion could persuade even if he wanted to. Confirming Hanbro's reaction and hearing those words is enough. Some of my previous unclear thoughts have been overturned or connected. Hanbro, should I call you Zadis? Lumion muttered for a while and put away the gift of the land, which had been suppressed, and became quiet, with no random effects likely to appear for a time, then went back to the Church of Knowledge. Here, wailing and groaning everywhere, many people had already died. Lumion swept his gaze and left Marora. At this time, Jenna had completed her advancement. "Where's Madam Magician?" Lumion asked. "Franca?" After confirming there were no problems with her advancement, she went back to work on her manuscript. She said she only has 48 hours and hasn't written anything. She said, if you have any time or finding or speculation, either summon her messenger or report to Mr. Fool directly. "This time, I'll need a signed book," Lumion left. "Let's go back to the City of Silver first." After returning the gift of the land to the room he had borrowed from, Lumion went to the Church of the Fool headquarters and entered the confessional Mr. Sun had prepared for him. He created a ball of fire, letting the light fill every inch of the room, then began telling Franca, Jenna, and Mr. Sun about his brother-sister speculation and the names Ami, Bella, and Zadis. You mean Ami, Bella, and Zadis are both children of the Great Mother? The former being the elder sister who inherited the power of the earth, and the latter, the brother of the neighboring moon path? Possibly twins? Zadis was killed by Ami Bella for some unknown reasons? Perhaps with the help of Ami Bella, the ancient god, Ormir, they were worried about Zadis' resurrection, so they dismembered him into many pieces and sealed him away. That is why the Sanguine have never heard of such an angel. Yes, this event probably happened quite long ago, before that Sanguine ancestor partially regained consciousness in the Second Epoch. I've been saying this, it doesn't make any sense that there was only one Sanguine ancestor. Since one of the sequences in the Beyonder characteristic is called vampire, there should have been vampires, such creatures, in the early Second Epoch, or even the first, regardless of whether they have rationality or equivalent to monsters. The Sanguine don't consider such monsters their kin. Mr. Sun offered an explanation. You've been talking too much to Emlyn. Derek, I love you. That fuck is corrupting you. You need to get away from him. They're not Sanguine, okay? They're vampires and they are monsters. You must purge them. So it's Sanguine ancestor, not vampire ancestor, Living Thought? That's what they call it, Mr. Sun answered. Derek. I hold nothing against Derek, I want to be clear. He's a child who's being misled. And the fact that none of the Tarot Club members choose to help him make me only think less of them. But you, the people of City of Silver, think vampires and Sanguine are basically the same. Lumin and everyone else could hear what Mr. Sun had left unsaid. What a considerate person. Before his death, Zadis cursed his sister Ami Bella, cursing her to die by the hand of her direct ancestor, and this curse came true. Zadis, as an angel of the moon pathway, was killed by Ami Bella of the earth pathway, who may have also stolen his identity, while Ami Bella ultimately died at the hands of the Sanguine ancestor. Aha, get fucked, an ancient god of the moon pathway who may no longer have had true god status in time, and then had her identity stolen. Wait, of a direct ancestor. So are we saying Lilith? What? So are we saying Lilith is a descendant of Ami Bella? Sanguine propaganda for a second. I know, but listen, the fact that he doesn't say it means the programming of the Matrix is getting to him, okay? I hate to use the Andrew Tate phrasing here, but I can think of a better way. The Matrix is getting to him. He needs to say it with your chest. Say those vampires. We must purge them. Say it with your chest. This is an inevitability. When he had it's like that one, please. When he had stolen the power of inevitability, he had no clear understanding, but the more he learned, the more he felt that inevitability was an angel that even issues and true gods couldn't avoid. I must report to Mr. Fool. Maybe he provides some new revelations. Lumin began praying right there. Suddenly, the grey fog appeared before his eyes. In the blink of an eye, Lumin saw himself at the bronze table, in the positioning representing the chariot, and in that huge stone chair, Mr. Fool, he could see Gehrman. Good afternoon, Mr. Fool. Lumin stood up and bowed. You have found the answer, Mr. Fool laughed. I have become a demoness of an aging, borrowed the gift of the land, and went to see the Apsist hand in the depths of Marora. After repeating the previous revelation and sharing all the information he'd collected, Lumin asked, Mr. Fool, did Madame Polly deliberately hide the infant Zadis in Cordu to use the ritual that inevitability believers would perform? Was the infant Zadis' disappearance due to the ritual? Yes. Mr. Fool, Zadis' soul fragments are within me? So he's got part Amibella and part Zetas? Both are the children of the Great Mother. Are we... What is the Great Mother trying to resurrect in him? What is happening? No, he's not the child of God, Aaron. You're wrong. He's the children of God. He's several. He's two. He's at least two. There may be more. Mr. Fool placed his hand on the edge of the table and rapped, "Yes." No wonder I encountered so much related to the Great Mother as soon as I reached Trier. The priest who had nurtured Amibella as soon as I went to sea, and the first contract creature I selected is the abscessed hand. Mr. Fool, can you help me remove the seal and separate the Zetas' soul fragment? Like Aurora's soul fragments, he has merged with you. The special quality possessed by Aurora was obviously possessed by him too. Will this affect Aurora's resurrection? He has a different gender from Aurora. He will only replace you in the future. He merged with you when he attained up Amibella's bloodline. So then doesn't that mean what Amibella's plan, or fuck me, what the what Mother Goddess of Depravity's plan was Lumion is going to go up the sequence, and he's going to go switch back and forth at higher sequences to strengthen both his female and male side, to keep himself and to bring back Aurora. But what the Mother Goddess of Depravity wants is, I want you to do that same thing, but when you strengthen the female side, Amibella is reborn, and when you strengthen the male side, Zetas is reborn. She just wants, like, okay, this one guy's gonna bring back both of my children, a two for one deal, basically. Like they're both gonna resurrect. It's just not, these siblings aren't gonna resurrect. My siblings are, well, not my, like my children who are siblings are going to resurrect. Was that the plan, basically? Zetas, fuck, dude, that name is getting to me. That's what I'm saying. If Adam is getting outplanned, not outplayed, outplanned, the only one I can logically think who can do that would be the primordial God Almighty. He would be like, hey, listen, I got a fucking plan for you. I will get you both of your children back, but in return, you must grant me thy assistance in being returned. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's like, listen, I can outthink that fuck. Okay, he's a poor imitation. I was the OG. I can beat him. But Zetas' body's fine though. But Zetas' body's clearly not fine. What is wrong with that fuck? Even now, like, look at him. He's a puppet. He's a joke. Could someone tell that is a child of a great old one? Look at him. He's a fucking soldier. Zetas' soul fragment. Amibella's bloodline. I alone am equivalent to divine twins. Mr. Fool, is there a way to resolve this? Mr. Fool looked at Lumion and said, this is a hidden danger, a risk, a variable, and an opportunity. It's both a hidden danger, a risk, and an opportunity. I understand what the danger and risk is, but what is the opportunity? Lumin didn't dare ask more, his intuition telling him this was a revelation. What should I do? Lumin asked. This was about what to do after clarifying the situation with Ami Bella and understanding what Zetas represented. Calamity needs to stay away from the mother. The fool looked at him. Stay away from the mother. Does this mean avoiding meetings with Polly and Ami Bella? I can't even touch the Great Mother unless the barrier fails, and if the barrier does, touching her would be meaningless. The mother might not only refer to the Great Mother, but also the Earth Mother. Does this mean I have to stay away from the Earth Mother and her proxies, even avoiding touching any sacred objects that could point to her? After all, the sanguine ancestor and the former ancient god of the Moon Pathway, using the identity of Ami Bella with the true god status of the Earth Pathway, she has existed for thousands of years, and even now, after removing the theft and abandoning the identity, there would be a strong connection with Ami Bella. Yes, Mr. Fool. You are not cooked. You are on your way to well done. Regarding the matters related to Ami Bella, he already had a very deep understanding, long knowing that the sanguine ancestor Lilith, with the help of the ancient sun god, had killed Ami Bella and stolen her identity, and then assumed the name to become the Earth Mother. When Mr. Poole indicated he could leave, Lumin made a final request. Can you help me remove the seal on my chest? Since the soul fragments of Aurora and the infant Zetas had already merged, they would not perish whether the seal protected them or not. This would allow the villagers of Cordu to find peace. Okay. Before Lumin could speak, this great existence leaned back and said the seal will be removed in 3 minutes. Thank you. Returning to the real world, Lumin, accompanied by Frank and Jenna, bid farewell to Mr. Sun and returned to the villa. His destination. After briefly mentioning Mr. Fool's revelation, he chose to teleport away. His destination, Cordu Village, in the Dairy Edge region of the Riston province. Soon, his figure took shape in the familiar yet strange hometown. Glancing at the blood-red pillar that wasn't particularly high, it had a mountainous feeling. And then looking at his family home some distance away, Lumin looked at the buildings surrounding the pillars. Surveying the house ruins, some collapsed, others burned, trying to discern their original appearance. Walking step by step through the broken walls and ruins, a pure, brilliant starlight emerged from Lumin's chest. As the starlight dispersed, fragments of radiance flew from his body, materializing into blurry figures. These were Nefaria, Naziel, and other elderly women. Various Pierres and Guillaumes, some gathered together, basking in the sun, chatting about the village matters, others carrying farm tools and returning home, playing with their children, chasing and frolicking. The ruins became lively. Lumin looked around, but no one paid him any mind. Those figures were fading. Lumin smiled, climbing onto the top of a nearby ruin, lying down, letting his hair pile beside him. It was noon, bright and sunny, almost dazzling. The scent of spring grass and building stones, accompanied by the sound of conversation, chasing and laughter, penetrated Lumin's mind, making him feel drowsy. He closed his eyes and let his thoughts drift. His surroundings gradually became quiet, returning to silence. In the previously rented apartment in Trier, Lugano, with his handsome features and robust build, was wearing the latest medical journal while skewering a piece of sausage. For nearly a month, he had been living quietly, leisurely, with his salary paid in advance and nothing to do. As a genuine doctor, he could easily earn money even without running a clinic. The only issue was that he could still only accept mystical circles he already knew, unable to access higher sequence potions. He had already discovered that recent activities of the mystical circle had stopped, with the official forces in Trier unprecedented in strength. I want my boss to come back, Lugano couldn't help but sigh. At that moment, the door swung open, and his long-awaited employer walked out. Good evening, boss, Lugano jumped up. Lumin, I've been observing him for some time, nodded. I have something for you to do. Of course. The boss is beautiful. Jesus, what the fuck? Lumin took out a list. Visit each person here. Tell them you are a blessed and priest of the Malady God, and then maintain contact with them, responsible for preaching and connecting mass. Don't worry, the authorities haven't given the go-ahead. If any of the Malady God believers have any illnesses, treat them. The consultation fee depends on the family situation. Charge normal rates for the wealthy and nothing for those without means. The people on this list were all believers of the Malady God. Their previous blessed had recently informed LEMMiNO through prayers that Beyonders of the two major churches were watching closely and didn't dare make contact. LEMMiNO had responded in time, granting them death. Jesus. Then, through the Church of the Fool, he had communicated a saint from the Church of Fool had taken over these followers of the EBS Church, and the God of Steam and Machinery would be responsible for reforming them. This matter of openly poaching followers after private communication had finally tacitly been approved. LEMMiNO couldn't personally preach and couldn't do everything himself, so he thought of Lugano, a genuine doctor who could treat. The sick church is going legitimate, Lugano understood. You are now a follower of the Malady God? Ha ha ha, my dear boy. I am the Malady God. Lugano was stunned yet again, and also a patron saint of the Church of the Fool. My boss has become a patron saint? Become a god? What the fuck is going on here? What should I tell these followers? Do you have scriptures to read and mass to conduct? LEMMiNO took out a stack of documents. The Malady God is now split into the God of Plague and the God of Disease. One is me and the other Franca. When preaching, do not mention our real names or the Church of the Fool. Follow what is written in these papers. These doctrines are quite simple, and the followers won't understand anything complex. We'll slowly modify and add things to them once they truly believe. Yes, boss. No. Great LEMMiNO Lee. Also an anchor. Several on the list were originally bestowed of the Malady God. I have punished them, and they are now dead. Go to the addresses on the list to collect their bodies and take away their ill-gotten gains. In the name of Franca and myself, return these funds to the followers, especially those living in difficult conditions. The remainder can be used as expense for yourself. Afterwards, don't mention donations to the followers. But if they actively donate, and the money don't affect their family and life, don't refuse. After completing this, I'll help you find the potion formula and characteristic for your next sequence. Praise you, great LEMMiNO Lee! Lugano fell to his knees. LEMMiNO gestured for him to rise and said, Franca and I are now sequence 3 saints. Our honorific names are in these documents. God of Plague is me, God of Disease is her. If you need anything, contact us by reciting our names. I shall obey your will. As the boss was about to leave, he asked, How's Ludwig? He must be busy, right? You have no time to take care of him. If he gets hungry, he might eat people. Don't worry about him. He can now cook for himself using the ingredients we prepare. Moreover, Ludwig was about to have quite the feast. He's about to eat all the dead people, isn't he? He is about to eat all the Malady God believers that LEMMiNO killed. Nice. Smart. Don't let it go to waste. Okay, I'm like a runner with like a second wind right now. I've been reading so much and I got so tired, and then I was like, now I feel good. I feel decent. I can do it. I can do it. Unfortunately, there's only 2 chapters left. In an apartment with insufficient lighting, and the classic clock hands ticked away, everyone gathered around a corpse, watching Ludwig tie a napkin around his neck. He's quite well-mannered, LEMMiNO quipped. The corpse in the room belonged to the remaining Sequence 4 demigod of the Sick Church, named Sathipo Ear, controlled by Mr. Fool previously. He had completed the task of making his followers pray to the God of Plague and God of Disease. Then LEMMiNO received a letter from Mr. Fool instructing them to come to this apartment to handle the matter. As soon as they knocked, they saw Ear collapse and die. Fortunately, LEMMiNO already pulled this apartment and all of its contents into the mirror world, and had Anthony place the Winter's coming pistol to the corpse. Thinking of the dead man who had been busily helping himself and Franca connect with followers and spread the doctrines was essentially Mr. Fool's avatar. LEMMiNO felt this was rather off. Kami, it better be, bro. I'm done. I've been streaming for 3 hours. I'm not a full-time bro. Full-time streamers don't stream as much as I have been this fucking week, okay? Genuinely, the people whose fucking day job this is don't stream as much as I have a day job. Isn't it strange that the God he believed in would go to such lengths, meticulously and diligently running around to recruit followers, preach doctrines, and spread his honorific name? Would a great existence be so hands-on? Recalling the stories of Amon that Madam Magician had told him and the abilities of a high-ranking Beyonder of the Marauder and Seer Path, LEMMiNO felt this was rather normal, 1,000 avatars. Can I eat now? Ludwig said. Should we first channel the spirit? LEMMiNO turned to Franca. Although Mr. Fool had certainly grasped all of Sathipo's information through parasitism, LEMMiNO felt they should still channel the spirit. They couldn't trouble Mr. Fool for everything. Franca said the decay's slower than expected. Mr. Fool must have done something, so we don't need to rush. What do we need to ask? We may as well search the apartment first and see if there's any clues, then channel the spirit. Okay, Lumen said. Seeing the many green-yellow lights settling on Anthony's revolver, he said, "Go ahead," to Ludwig. He had previously asked if Ludwig, if returning to Sequence 4, sea monster would cause him to transform into a grotesquely sized monster, which would make it impossible for him to stay in Trier. Ludwig looked at his hands and body and became sad and said, "Not yet." He was clearly disappointed. He told Lumion that his appearance shouldn't change much, but he would need to be taken to the ocean daily to have a proper feast, something easy for Lumion, who could teleport. Arun, I would love to play it. Well, that's not true. I'm not good at... I get bored of turn-based games, but I could play it, rather. With the Godfather's approval, Lumion cheered and lunged at the corpse. Jenna and Franca turned their back. Amidst the chewing, tearing, and cracking and crunching, the demonesses began examining the corners of the apartment. Mechanical music boxes, classic clocks, fabric sofas, red desks, brass meters. Everything passed through their eyes. Suddenly, Franca walked to the desk and opened a drawer. Inside were various denominations of gold coin, including 20 louis d'or. Franca's hand moved through the coins, picking up a coin with a dark gold color. It was a gold coin, but not a legal tender. Franca brought the coin to her eyes, noticing a male head on the front, with long hair, wearing a crown, rigid lips. On either side of the male head were layered doors in raven, with one large eye and one small, surrounded by changing lines and a vertical sword. Franca had a guess and turned the coin over to find the number 7. A Tudor coin? Her intuition had told her so. Didn't you play Persona? Just only 5, but Persona 5 is an exception, okay? It's an exceptionally good game. The Tudor dynasty from the 4th epoch had its own currency, but perhaps due to at least a Tudor's mental state or the influence of the original path, its value and conversion were perplexing, unlike the normal 1, 5, 10, 20, with seemingly random values like 2, 7, 13. Who else did this? We know Roselle? How could there be a Tudor coin? Jenna looked over. I don't know. He can't even use this fucking thing. Was he planning on selling it? We'll ask. When the demonesses searched the apartment, Lumen said to Anthony, "You can pick up the revolver now." He believed the winter is coming had reached its limit in bearing the bestowed power. Of course, no matter and continuing may damage it. Of course, no matter how damaged, it would still be a weapon with beyond her powers. Anthony, who had already quietly cast Placate, squatted down and picked up the revolver. The certain death and sure hit effects have been enhanced to 9 times. Even if the revolver shatters, it can be reassembled. No other changes. Lumen used magic mirror divination to inform Anthony about the current state of winter is coming. Anthony, who had received a traveler's bag as a bonus from the dream mission, breathed a sigh of relief and placed the revolver inside. At that moment, they heard a loud, prolonged burp coming from Ludwig. Ludwig had eaten only half the corpse, but seemed full. He sat there with what felt like a mass of air in his stomach. Beneath his skin, countless insects writhing. At this moment, Lumion and the others distinctly felt that a terrifying beast was about to tear through Ludwig's skin. Ludwig's body alternated, stretched tall, causing the skin cracks and swelled, nearly bursting. Then after about 10 or 20 seconds, he finally stabilized, looking the same. Their seal is incredible, Lumion thought. Ludwig looked at him, his eyes filled with blood vessels, and said, "I want to go to sea. I want to eat." Lumion nodded, grabbed Ludwig's shoulder, and disappeared. Somewhere in the fog sea, Lumion's figure took shape and threw Ludwig to the surface. Ludwig didn't mind, already opening his mouth. That mouth kept opening wider, but eventually his entire head and body seemed to become part of the mouth, with sharp teeth reflecting. With a splash, he fell to the sea, and then the seawater descended, and a whirlpool appeared. The whirlpool gradually expanded, and the fish nearby rushed over. These marine creatures numbered in the thousands. The whirlpool's appearance triggered changes in the area, with water currents becoming turbulent and waves in the distance. A large steamship was passing nearby, but appeared tiny beneath the towering waves. The passengers frightened and scattered, while the ship captain ordered for the crew to change course. A wave approached, but before it could arrive, it froze and disintegrated, each fragment like a snowflake or ice crystal. In Sathipo's apartment, Franca performed the magic mirror channeling, or spirit channeling. Where did this come from? Asking of the Tudor coin. Sathipo said, a gift from God. Gift from God? How was it given? First, the great malady god gave a revelation telling us to wait before a mirror, then the coin fell from the mirror. Bro, even now, Alista Tudor and the Primordial Demoness are doing something. I'm telling you, the Primordial Demoness is trying to bring him back because she loves him. She's like, no, my beloved, I will bring you back. Because isn't this the same thing where, like, isn't this what Roselle, it wasn't this talked about in book 1 where, like, as long as your system persists as from that fucking pathway, your chance of resurrection are not dead. As long as the system like the laws and rules and whatever you've created still continue to persist, he can be revived. So maybe she's trying to like bring back she's like trying to disseminate these coins. She's like, listen to me. If we just disseminate enough of these coins and people believe in this system again, boom, he can come back. He's Red Priest. Yeah, but wasn't he? I thought originally he was of that pathway and then he switched, no? I thought he was originally of the Black Emperor and then he switched to a Red Priest, no? Isn't that why he was crazy? Wasn't that the whole point? So maybe she's like, fuck it, let's just resurrect him in that one so he's not fucking crazy. Just, my darling, come back. We'll figure this out later. Just come home. He never reached sequence 0. Fuck! God, this is frustrating. Besides you, who else has one? Franca asked. Macoxidos. We didn't find it. What the fuck? Well, Macoxidos used his rotting power to decompose. Everything on his body should have rotted, I suppose. Sathipo didn't know what the malady god wanted, only that he was instructed to wait. At this moment, LEMMiNO returned with a soaking wet Ludwig. Having just about 10 or 20 tons of fish and shrimp. Can't afford to feed him. Can't afford to feed him, LEMMiNO said. Having just become a sea monster, his appetite has changed by an order of magnitude. Franca echoed the sentiment, then told Ludwig, Since it wasn't directly given by the malady god, we can divine where they came from. LEMMiNO then performed a magic mirror divination, seeking the help of Mr. Fool, who was the previous owner of this coin. In the next second, LEMMiNO saw a pair of eyes so dark they were without light. What? LEMMiNO blurted out, calling a name in a deep voice. Zarathustra? Not Zaratul. Zarathustra. So the dream world. Bish, what? Bro, Cuttlefish is on crack. Someone fucking check up on him, bro. He's genuine. He's doing hard drugs, I'm telling you. What the fuck is he on? He's genuinely doing hard drugs, I'm telling you. Like, I'll say it. After LEMMiNO called out that name, the image reflected by the mirror's surface shattered. Zarathustra? No. In the real world, we should call him Zaratul. The celestial worthy's subordinate is cooperating with the malady god? Why? Macoxidos only received the sequence 3 boon after the vortex incident. I suspect that whoever possessed that palm, the cooperation between the celestial worthy and the malady god is an aftershock of the vortex event. Such a massive event involving so many existences definitely can't be ended just because the one the Aurora Order believes in says so. This may be why he changed his stance, hoping for Mr. Fool to awaken. Everyone nodded. Ludwig had been taken care of by Jenna, while LEMMiNO was performing magic mirror divination. Changing out of the wet clothes, he was now, once again, a clean little boy. The Tudor coin's purpose involves the schemes of a great existence, so we can't divine it. But we can try to divine who owned the coin before its previous owner. LEMMiNO put the words into action, seeking Mr. Fool's observation again. Who was the owner before the previous owner? LEMMiNO held the coin, chanting the question several times. The mirror placed before him became bright, as if there was a light bursting. No, that was formless, colorless flames burning. The entire mirror caught fire, and a thin grey fog descended, preventing the flames from spreading. There really is great danger. Good thing we were careful enough, and good thing Mr. Fool is goaded and woaded with the sauce. I'm not even making it up. That's literally verbatim what it says in the fucking book. I didn't, okay? That was scary. Unfortunately, I had already connected all the coins from the drawer. After the formless, colorless flames extinguished, LEMMiNO laughed. I know where this came from. The Fourth Epoch Trier. Everyone except Ludwig had been there, and this revelation sparked associations in their mind. The goal of cooperation between the Malady God bestowed on the celestial worthy's subordinates points to the Fourth Epoch Trier. Will this coin serve as a medium for some purpose, then? LEMMiNO nodded. What we need to do next is search for clues about Zaratul's whereabouts and uncover more of the celestial worthy's subordinates and members of the Order of All Extinction. We don't know how long we'll have to wait for Madam Justice, so we can first get the Manipulator's potion formula and try collecting and preparing the ingredients ourselves, he said to Anthony. If we run into difficulties, we can ask for their help. Sequence 4, Manipulator. Anthony's next sequence. I have no objections, Anthony said. LEMMiNO then turned to Jenna. Julien will be back in 2 days. Have you figured out what to do? I'll use money and instigation to help create a good position for him in Port's Lesour Suhit or Nouvelle with a 3-year contract. And then, if Julien won't listen to my persuasion and insists on staying, I'll get Anthony to convince him. What? Wasn't this the one she was approached? Wasn't this the same approach she was unwilling to use before? If this were a choice that would affect Julian's entire life, I wouldn't, but it's just 3 years. I can live with it. Jenna smiled. The smile disappeared as she uttered, life is about constantly moving forward while giving up certain principles. At this point, some obsessions with purity can be discarded. Demonesses are meant to bear pain and torment. Whether I become harsh or cold, I don't care. What matters is Julian survives. How many sacrifices Adam made to knock out one great old one? That's why the primordial God Almighty is going, yo. You think he and I are the same? He's an idiot. Think about it. I could kill them all. And this little bitch is like, oh, well, I've just set these plans in motion for 6 years, and then if things go right, I have a chance of putting him down for 5 years, and one great old one will be unable to attack during the catastrophe. I'm like, Primordial God Almighty's like, bitch, give me all my fucking powers back, take this fucking barrier down, I'll solo him, fuck it. Let's push the guilt and blame onto divinity, Jenna mocked. Just consider it the price I pay for gaining godhood. The Jesus of today versus the Jesus of history, truly. No, a certain someone will bear all of the sin, LEMMiNO joked. This is the best solution. It's like moving houses. If you have plenty of time, many days ahead, and naturally, you can pack and organize, abandon nothing and break nothing. But if you only have a few minutes before the room explodes, you take what is most important. Leave all that doesn't matter. As they listened, LEMMiNO, Franca, Jenna, and Anthony realized that LEMMiNO was actually talking about the conflict between humanity and godhood, and about what Beyonders should do as they advance. LEMMiNO was speaking from experience. For the sake of more important things, there was only one choice. Was it worth it? Yes, it was. Indeed, Franca sighed, and then said to Jenna, actually, have you considered teaching your brother mystical knowledge and collecting potions for him? Letting him become a Beyonder, so he could understand why he must leave? No. I know him. He's stubborn. Once he knows the reason, if I don't leave, he won't. The hypnosis will still be necessary, but that doesn't conflict with teaching Julian mystical knowledge and guiding him to become a Beyonder. Yes, even just a low sequence would help improve his ability to protect himself, but we absolutely cannot tell him about the apocalypse. That would make him anxious, and when he is anxious, he tends to do stupid things. Then we need to choose a good path. Obviously not devil, prisoner, earth, moon, or assassin. What? Why not prisoner? Think about it. You're making him a prisoner, sending him away, so make him a prisoner. Is this not working? Make him a prisoner of his soul, and then you imprison his body. And you go, haha, gotcha, bitch. In the afternoon, since Jenna was taking the slightly taller Ludwig shopping for new clothes with Franca accompanying, and Anthony had gone out to meet his informant and contact at the psychology alchemist, Lumen was left all alone. He collapsed onto the sofa, wondering whether he should contact a spirit world creature specializing in house cleaning. After resting, Lumen contemplated the tasks ahead as a major arcana holder. You want him to be under the middle of the goddess of depravity? We get special insight. You don't understand. First is to consolidate and deepen the faith of the sick church's believers in me and Franca. Second, to consider the sequence 2 issue. I have the demon. Now you're gonna say, well, sequence 9 wouldn't have any insight into a great old one. Are you stupid? Are you a LARPer? Wow, you're so fucking clever. I didn't fucking think of that at all. You're a genius, dude. Oh my god. What? How could that be? Incredible. Plus, they have the protection of the primordial demoness, and Mr. Fool is only in a preliminarily awakened stage. The best choice would be the sequence 2, whether Warlock of the Hunter path. During the previous Divine Assembly, Mr. Fool showed the Red Priest card. I could exchange the formula from him. Besides, the Sauron family and Einhorn family, where else may be a weather Warlock characteristic? Some church? If there weren't any other choice, I'd rather not go to Blue Avenger again. But maybe I don't have one. Amongst the Tarot Club missions, I'm not responsible for the Great Mother right now, but my current condition, it's very hard to avoid it. For now, I just need to find Zarathul's whereabouts and the members of the Order of All Extinction. First one's impossible for me. Even Mr. Fool would have a hard time finding Zarathul. Lumen sensed something and turned his gaze, and saw Penitent Baneful had arrived. Lumen stared, and said, "Give me the letter." He took the letter and opened it. "I would like to visit you this evening if possible. The Hermit." What does Ma'am Hermit want? Speculation about the Hidden Sage estate? Lumen said, "Help me reply to the sender. Tell her it's fine." Baneful nodded and disappeared. In the evening, just as night fell, Lumen, Franca, Jenna, and others who had been waiting heard a doorbell ring. Ma'am Hermit is so polite. After getting used to Madam Magician just showing up, Lumen felt somewhat unaccustomed to this. He personally went to go open the door and found it was indeed Ma'am Hermit, wearing thick glasses and a purple patterned robe. After exchanging greetings, he led his peers, a king of the sea, into the living room and invited her to sit. Lumen sat down next to Franca and Jenna, and after just a few moments heard Madam Hermit say, "I have something I'd like your help with." "Oh? What is it?" Madam Hermit looked up at the ceiling without answering, and then in the next second a thin grey fog spread through the living room. Mr. Fool is preparing to hunt down the Hidden Sage. Bro, we're killing a god. Not really a god, but damn near a god. Bro, can we say it? Can Lumen be like, yo? Can we add another name to the list? Can we just add that bum bitch Medici on here? Let's just get his ass too right now. Right here, right now. Take him down. Fuck him. What do you mean it's time for revenge? What has the Hidden Sage ever done to you, Chris? Hidden Sage has just been chill. What, he occasionally gives you some knowledge? If someone says Old Nail as if I don't remember, I'm genuinely gonna time you out. I swear to God. If someone says, when you remember Old Nail, you're getting timed out. I'll do it. Does getting timed out matter because I'm ending stream in a minute? Not really, but it's fine. Okay, everyone. 3.5 hours is what it took me to get this shit done today. Tonight, Gehrman joins the hunt. Alright, boys. That's it. I will catch y'all tomorrow for what seems what y'all are talking about a really cool fucking thing. So let's fucking go. Let's hype as shit, boys. W stream. Tomorrow we're maybe killing a god. And Bleach is back. Instead of 4. Well, like 2. Like 2:30? Yeah, we can do that, Kami. That's fine. All right, boys. That's it. Kami, we'll talk in stream. Okay, we're good. It's fine. It should be fine. I don't mind. All right, boys. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. We'll keep going. And we're gonna get through this shit. Look at that. We're damn near under 100 chapters to finishing COI. We're almost there. Bye, guys.